Balch Springs, Dallas, Fort Worth, 660 AM. The Answer.
Fox News Radio, I'm Karen McHugh. The Supreme Court breathes new life into President Trump's travel ban.
The 90-day ban on travel from Syria, Sudan, Yemen, Iran, Libya, and Somalia will now temporarily go into effect while the court agrees to hear the broader legal issues surrounding the ban in its next term starting in October.
Fox's Doug McElway. The CBO says if passed, the Senate plan to replace Obamacare would cause $22 million to lose health coverage. One Senate Democrat says the bill would do more than that.
Trump care guts protections for people with pre-existing conditions. Because as any family will tell you, coverage that is too expensive to buy, like it very well could be under Trump care, that is no coverage at all.
Senator Patty Murray of Washington. Airbag maker Takata has filed for bankruptcy. The company brought down by a scandal involving defective airbags blamed for 16 deaths. Fox News, we report, you decide.
Stimulating talk, 660 AM, The Answer. We all know life can get crazy, and you're not always near a radio. But one thing is for sure, your phone goes everywhere with you. And now, we can too. Download the 660 AM The Answer app to your phone and listen live wherever you go. If you miss any of the Mark Davis Show or the Wells Report, you can catch up whenever, wherever. Plus, dial the 660 AM The Answer studio directly from the app. And it's free. We make it easy to stay connected. Download our app now. 660 AM, The Answer.
Hello, Howard Garrett, the Dirt Doctor here. I've got a little show on the weekends, Sunday morning, and it's about natural organic gardening. We talk about landscaping and pest control. We talk about tree care. We talk about specific pest control on some things where other people say there are no solutions. Things like oak wilt, rose rosette, crepe myrtle bark scale, and fungal canker on Italian cypress. Join me every Sunday morning, 8 to 11, right here on 660 AM, The Answer.
At any time in Texas, it can feel like the change of the seasons. But I'll tell you what, as we work our way into springtime, Abacus Foundation has been serving North Texas with the highest quality foundation repair solutions for 17 years. And with a warmer temperature and additional moisture, oh my, the foundations can be rocking and rolling. So if you got cracks in the sheetrock or doors that are sticking, call Abacus Foundation Repair at 972-406-9000. 972-406-9000. These are the people I call. These are the folks who have been to my house. These are the folks who will not give you a foundation job you don't need, but will tell you exactly what's going on. Now, if you do need a new foundation, you got the Millennium Composite Pilings, the strongest, and folks at Abacus are the only folks offering it. And get this, $1,000 off any job with 10 pilings or more. AbacusFoundationRepair.com. Lifetime warranty, transferable, 972-406-9000, 972-406-9000, or AbacusFoundationRepair.com.
Policies issued by American General Life Insurance Company, Houston, Texas. Not available in all states. For details, visit AIGDirect.com.
If you're young and healthy, you don't need life insurance, right? Yeah, that's what I used to think too, until my brother died at 38. Joe left his wife with 2 kids, a mortgage, and a stack of bills she couldn't pay. Mary had to sell the house and move everybody into this tiny 2-bedroom apartment just to make ends meet. I never want to do that to my wife, so I got life insurance. I called AIG Direct and was really surprised how affordable it is. Just $14 a month for $250,000 of term life coverage. Listen, if you have a family, you should seriously think about getting life insurance. You'll feel a lot better having it, trust me.
Call AIG Direct for a free, no-obligation quote. The call takes less than 5 minutes, and you could save up to 70%. Call now, 1-800-700-6492. That's 1-800-700-6492. 1-800-700-6492.
Hey, it's Frank Reed. I'm visiting with my friend Dr. Chad Glines from Genesis Back and Neck. You've probably heard he's partnered with the Elevani Health Group for gel injections for your knee. Now, I've received this procedure myself. My knee pain is completely gone, but you guys do a lot more than knees at Genesis.
Yeah, absolutely. Being a spinal decompression specialist, we've been able to help people for years with their disc problems, but now teaming up with Elevani Health Group, it's amazing what we can do for knees with the gel injections. We have stem cell injections, but we can also take care of pain anywhere with this new device that we use. It's just an unbelievable procedure. And the crazy thing, it's narcotic free.
And the cool thing is this is covered by the insurance and probably even your Medicare.
Absolutely. Medicare covers it. It is just amazing the results we're seeing with this.
You don't have to live with pain any longer. And your initial consultation is always free. Call for your appointment at 817-328-1922. That's 817-328-1922.
Hi, I'm Jeff Stewart with Reliant Air Conditioning. In the last 2 months, we've saved our customers over $500,000. How'd we do it? With our exclusive partnership with your utility provider, we get to offer instant rebates of up to $1,500 when you replace that worn-out AC system. When you combine that with Carrier's Cool Cash savings of up to $3,500, we're talking saving over $5,000 on a brand new AC system that can cut your electric bill in half. Now that's how you save people money without gimmicks. But you'll have to hurry because the utility funds can run out at any time. So we're scheduling our free estimates on a first-come, first-served basis. So call 2 other companies first, get their price, and then call Reliant Air Conditioning, and you'll see how we've been gimmick-free since '83. Call 877-YOUR-HERO. That's 877-968-7437 or online at ReliantAirConditioning.com.
Reliant Air Conditioning. Call 877-YOUR-HERO.
Right now, buy either Ortho Home Defense or Roundup with Comfort Wand at the Home Depot and get a free refill. Good news for you. Final notice for bugs or weeds. Protect your home inside and out from insects or kill weeds right where they stand, right down to the root. Either way, you'll come out ahead, and bugs and weeds will be out of luck. Get a free refill with Ortho Home Defense or Roundup with Comfort Wand only at the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. Valid through July 5th in select stores. Limit 2 discounts per customer.
660 AM. The Answer. Is anybody out there paying attention to what's going on in this country, in this state, and in this city? We know one man who is. You got questions? He's got answers. This is the Wells Report with John David Wells on 660 AM. The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is John David Wells. Our telephone number is 866-660-5759. And if you will look on YouTube live events or Google Hangouts, you will find the Wells Report. And it is live on video just in time for our next guest, the lovely Kristen Waggoner. She is the Senior Counsel and Senior Vice President of U.S. Legal Advocacy with Alliance Defending Freedom. You guys must feel pretty good today. Thanks very much for joining us.
It's been a good day. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. So what ended up happening was this. The Supreme Court of the United States, in a return to something American, in my view, found that Trinity Lutheran Church, whose playground apparently is pretty good, and it involves a church's daycare. The Supreme Court ruled that it's okay for Missouri state funds to be used in the construction of playgrounds like that in the future. Is that correct, Kristen?
Yes, it is. It is correct. It was a great day for freedom, as well as to ensure that people of faith aren't discriminated against on the basis of their religious class status.
Are you having trouble hearing us, Kristen?
I am, yes.
Oh, is there like a hang on just a quick second.
Okay.
Okay, so anyway, we'll try to get that figured out and get that taken care of you there, Kristen. Let me ask you these questions. Tell us about how the case came down and tell us how it worked out for the Alliance Defending Freedom.
Well, the Trinity Lutheran case was a case where the Lutheran Church had applied for a recycling program where tire scraps would be used to resurface playgrounds. The state used neutral criteria to determine who should be given the grants in the program, and they gave 14 grants out. Anything? The church was identified as in the top 5 of the grant applicants, but it was denied the grant solely because it was a church. And so that was the issue before the court, was whether the state can discriminate against a religious organization simply because it is religious, because of its status, is. And the court said that kind of discrimination is odious.
They said it was it's a common sense principle. The larger truth is the government isn't being neutral when it treats religious organizations worse than anybody else, correct?
Yes.
All right. So now we're in a position where there's going to be equal treatment as the Constitution pretty much prescribes, thanks to the Supreme Court today.
Yes, exactly. What we know are that people of faith have faced discrimination, and I think more so in recent years than at any other time, at least in our generation. And the court really affirmed today that people of faith have the same constitutional protections against discrimination that others have, and that a government can't exclude people of faith just because they're religious.
And we're talking, by the way, with Kristen Waggoner. Kristen is the senior counsel and senior vice president of the U.S. Legal Advocacy with Alliance Defending Freedom. And the ruling has raised questions over state funding of religious institutions' secular activity, especially what it could mean for school vouchers. The court ruled 7-2. And by the way, for those of us who have been watching the Supreme Court for some time, the court ruled 7-2 that religious organizations, and 7-2 is a better vote than 5-4, right? Which means that some people from the so-called liberal wing of the court also voted with the conservatives in this, and I'm assuming that all the conservatives went with the vote. Is that correct, Kristen?
Yes, and Justices Kagan and Breyer also joined to make the 7.
I see. All right. So if the church had lost the case, some were worried that religious institutions might be barred from receiving public funding at all. That was clearly in the mind of Alliance Defending Freedom, correct?
Well, yes, and I would say it's not even a matter of public funding, but even public benefits. So, for example, one of the questions that Justice Alito raised during the oral arguments was, would the court be able to deny a synagogue a home, or the government would they be able to deny a synagogue a homeland security grant just because they're a religious organization? So public benefits like fire and safety, neutral government programs that don't even include direct cash grants would be in jeopardy. And that is a violation of the Constitution, and it's just patent discrimination.
Now, there's some other cases that are coming out, too. There's a case that the Supreme Court has decided to take, Masterpiece Bakery. Let's talk a little bit about that one. From what I understand, that is a story of a bakery that did not want to take part in a gay wedding and decided not to, and then was sued, and it's gone all the way to the Supreme Court.
Yes, it is. Jack Phillips, in July of 2012, he had 2 men come in and ask him to do a custom designed wedding cake it was for a same-sex ceremony. Colorado didn't even have same-sex marriage at the time, but it was a same-sex ceremony. And Jack just politely declined and said that he couldn't do a wedding cake, that he would sell anything else in the store, but that same-sex ceremonies violated his religious convictions. And as he has declined other work for other events that violated his faith, other cakes, he expected that to be the end of the matter. The couple easily found a cake in the nearby vicinity, and it was a rainbow-themed cake that they used at their ceremony. But then they, with the help of the ACLU, filed a lawsuit against Jack, and he's been involved in that for the last 5 years now, just trying to fight to keep his business.
How is it that we got to the point where you had the right to refuse service to anyone went by the wayside? How did that happen?
Well, what we're seeing are anti-discrimination laws are being misused by activists who are wanting to silence and punish people of faith who believe that marriage is between a man and a woman. They want to coerce them into accepting and promoting only one view of marriage. And those that are caught in the crosshairs are people like Jack Phillips, who have had a business for over 20 years. It's a family-owned business, and he supports his community. But he's literally forced to choose between that business and his religious convictions.
That's just incredible. I mean, that is one of the reasons why we have a United States of America, insofar as people traveled here from Europe seeking religious freedom. I don't understand how we could be so far afield from that, especially based on something that is so clear. I use the example of Sandy Koufax. Sandy Koufax, of course, was a superstar Hall of Fame pitcher from the mid-'60s. He was Jewish and did not pitch on Saturdays. Now, that was taken in stride as just one of those things that could happen, but it seems to me that in this particular climate, that if the ACLU acted then as it does now, They would have taken Sandy Koufax to court because he was depriving baseball fans of Saturday participation in Major League games.
Well, I don't know how they would have responded with Sandy Koufax. I suspect they might have protected him back then. But really what's going on here is the ACLU and groups like it are going after speech that they feel is unpopular. And again, they're trying to personally ruin people that have a traditional belief about marriage and human sexuality. And they're trying to force them out of business and using the law to tell them that they're going to be punished by the government if they try to live and work consistent with their beliefs.
See, that is just so crazy. Kristen Waggoner is our guest. She serves as the senior counsel for Alliance Defending Freedom, and that leads us to you and your organization. Alliance Defending Freedom has been taking these cases up, and in a lot of ways are the only ways that people can find relief, because they don't have the kind of money it takes. I mean, the ACLU is funded by leftist crazy people to the tunes of millions of dollars, and we, the people, just trying to make a living, don't have that kind of cash, and that's where you guys fill in. Is that correct?
Yes, we offer our services pro bono to our clients, and it does take a lot to get a case through the system and up to the U.S. Supreme Court. And it doesn't just take one case. It takes a number of cases, because the court only grants cert or hears cases when it can see that there's a widespread problem. That's when it primarily accepts cases. And I'm sure your listeners and you are aware of some of those other cases, including like Baronelle Stutzman's case in Arlene's Flowers, the florist in Washington.
Yeah.
Her opening brief will be filed to the U.S. Supreme Court in just a few weeks. She faces personal and professional ruin, all of her assets being gone if she loses her case. So we're optimistic about the court granting cert in Jack's case and hopeful that the court will protect all Americans, because religious freedom benefits everyone.
I sincerely hope so. My circumstance goes like this: if this goes by the wayside, I mean, this is a case where the court system itself is operating in contravention of the Constitution it's supposed to interpret. And I can't imagine that should ever stand. And I'm surprised. I mean, there are people in Portland, Oregon that have gone through this. Their business was destroyed. I don't know how they're living, but I imagine they found other work. But in this particular case, these things are happening all across the country, and it's just egregious on its face.
It is, and the ACLU's arguments are egregious. I mean, they're even arguing that a painter can be forced to have to paint paintings that would violate his convictions. And I will say that with the Sweet Cakes Bakery, the case in Oregon, or with our calligrapher and hand painter case in Arizona, or our filmmaker in Minnesota, or our blogger in Wisconsin, hopefully all of these clients that are facing these threats will find relief in the decision that the U.S. Supreme Court renders in Jack's case, because no American should be forced to choose what art they're going to create and which art they won't create with fear of government punishment.
What about accountability to the people that are bringing these cases? I mean, clearly this is not about grievance. This is purely about politics. That is, of course, a misuse of the judicial system by the left, which is, I think, part and parcel how they manage to do their legislation that would otherwise not see the light of day. Is there some way of holding any of these people accountable?
It's difficult. I mean, we need to be working more through our state legislators and our local officials. A lot of these laws are passed at the local level as well as at the state level, and ensuring that we put the right people in place to pass good laws. The way that these laws are being interpreted in the courts, we elect a lot of our judges as well. But in terms of monetary remuneration for these clients, they really don't have a path forward. They have to defend themselves, defend their businesses, and at the end, they never really are made whole by it. That's the challenging piece of this. The left is set to ruin and destroy them, and it's unfortunate, but we're thrilled that we get to walk the journey with them and excited about what the Supreme Court will do with this case.
Kristen Waggoner, if people want to support you and of course, the Alliance Defending Freedom, where do they go and what do they do?
They can go to adflegal.org. You can search any of these cases. You can look at the front page of our website, and it will tell you ways that you can support the clients. But first and foremost, they need to pray. Too many times we can overlook that or think that it's a trivial piece of this, but we do need to pray for God's intervention, for his favor in this situation, because when the oral argument comes and the court decides, it's going to be a landmark decision in our country.
It certainly is. Kristen, thanks so much for joining us. We sincerely appreciate it. God bless you and all the things that you do, especially with the Alliance Defending Freedom. And thanks for joining us on the Wells Report. Coming up, your thoughts. Can the Supreme Court of the United States rule any other way but for the First Amendment? Next on the Wells Report.
The Hugh Hewitt Show. The Hugh Hewitt Show.
My view is very simple. If they don't pass this, they will lose the Senate majority. Both Jeff Flake and Dean Heller will lose if they do not pass the bill. It is what they were sent to do. To repeal Obamacare and replace it with something that is going to take care of those people in the individual markets that's being crashed because Obamacare is in a death spiral.
The Hugh Hewitt Show. Weekday mornings at 5, right before Mark Davis at 7 on 660 AM. The Answer.
I'm Aaron Katz. You might remember me from my radio show or my company with Little Red Trucks. Have you ever wondered why some people suffer from irrational fears like fear of heights, public speaking, or needles? For example, needles used to make me sick until I fixed it. It's because most irrational fears are created from a traumatic experience. It's a form of PTSD that affects many people. The good news is that fears from PTSD can be controlled, and you don't need a lot of prescription drugs or years of therapy to do it. As a certified NLP practitioner, I've learned how to help people eliminate their fears and change their lives. I do it by setting positive and negative triggers and activating them simultaneously. The positive neutralizes the negative, and it doesn't affect you any longer. It's the same as combining red dye and blue dye. The red and the blue both disappear, and it leaves purple. If you or someone you know has an irrational fear that is limiting them in some way, I can help. Visit my website, littleredtrucks.net. That's plural, Little Red Trucks, and it's .net. Let's get to work.
Hey, everybody, Mark Davis. The 16th birthday celebration continues at Viascan of Las Colinas, and they don't want anything from you for their birthday. They want to give you something for their birthday. 16 years of affordable preventive health care, giving people an eye inside their body to see if there's plaques or blockages in their hearts or little cancer spots that stand to grow into big, inoperable cancer spots. Early detection, early detection, early detection. This is my early detection headquarters. Make it yours. Viascan of Las Colinas, 972-739-2840. Here's the special. When they opened the doors in 2001, that heart scan and body scan together, $595. And they've returned that price, $595. Happy birthday from Viascan to you, so you can have a lot more birthdays. 972-739-2840, $595 for the heart and body scan. Check it out. Google Viascan, call them 972-739-2840, or just Google Viascan.
Have you racked up more than $10,000 in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? You should know the credit card companies are tricking you into thinking there's no way out. Credit card companies would rather you didn't know that there are ways you can become debt-free, and you don't have to pay the entire amount you owe. There are debt relief programs that help people like you escape overwhelming credit card debt. National Debt Relief has helped tens of thousands of people just like you reduce more than $500 million of debt. National Debt Relief has helped so many people. They're A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. You don't have to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan. You have the right to settle your debt for a mere fraction of what you owe. Reduce a portion of your debt now. Call National Debt Relief at 800-518-4020. 800-518-4020. That's 800-518-4020.
I'm sure that every one of you understands the importance of oral care to your overall health. There's no denying the connection. I'm also sure that many of you have a sensitive mouth or sensitive gums or painful canker sores, or sadly, maybe even chemo sores from cancer treatment. What you may not know is that your mouthwash, especially if it's one of the brands that burns, may be making things worse. You should try non-irritating, alcohol-free Closys Oral Rinse. That's CLOSYS. Closis is like first aid for your mouth. It's as gentle as water, but it helps relieve common but uncomfortable, even painful issues in your mouth. Unlike other mouthwashes, Closis is also pH balanced, which eliminates the burn and irritation. Try Closis Oral Rinse for sensitive mouth, gums, and canker sores for pain-free oral care. That's Closys. Closis. Learn more about the gentle, effective oral rinse at closis.com or get Closis today at Walgreens, CVS Health, and Walmart. For the last decade, it's been called the greatest libertarian show on earth. This year will be no different. Attended by the most brilliant conservative minds today, join us for Freedom Fest, July 19th through the 22nd at the Paris Resort in Las Vegas. This year, come hear the likes of Craig Gutfeld from Fox News, actor William Shatner, and SRN's very own Larry Elder and Michael Medved. Register now at freedomfest.com and save $100 by using the code REASON100 at freedomfest.com.
660 AM, The Answer. Now, more of the Wells Report with John David Wells on 660 AM, The Answer.
We want to thank Kristen Waggoner one more time from the Alliance Defending Freedom for joining us here on the Wells Report. These people have it together. They are the conservative version of the ACLU. And it's really important that there be somebody else in this mix. These are people like you and me. The Trinity Lutheran case was about a religious preschool that was rejected from a state program that provides reimbursement grants to put a decent surface underneath playground equipment. The preschool was denied the grant for its playground solely because the playground belongs to a religious organization. They are required, the people of Missouri are required, but I think we do this in Texas too. They're required to pay a fee on their tire purchases to have these tires taken care of. And that's what they use to come up with this very nice, softer than dirt or softer than grass even, surfaces for kids to fall down on underneath playground equipment. And that the ACLU would find that just because some preschool happens to be associated with a church, that it would not be available, that they should not have any kind of access to state money, is just a pernicious, nasty attack on the First Amendment. That's all it is. The people of the ACLU really need to start doing things like a gut check and determine just exactly what is their mission. If their mission is to try to legislate through the Justice Department, through the judicial branch of government, then they are legally and intellectually bankrupt in their own mission. And they need to be reminded of that. Also, the Supreme Court announced today that it's going to hear the case of a suburban Denver baker. That was just who we were talking about with Ms. Waggoner. Jack Phillips, the owner of Masterpiece Cake Shop, refused to sell a customized cake for a gay couples union, claiming a religious exemption to the state's anti-discrimination law. There was no legal gay marriage in Colorado at the time. State courts ruled against the businessman. High courts will now decide whether applying the Colorado Public Accommodation Law to compel the baker to create expression, a wedding cake, violates his constitutionally protected Christian beliefs about marriage. The answer is yes. Yes. They violate his constitutionally, the law violates his constitutionally protected Christian belief about marriage. That's the one thing about legislating through the judicial branch. You can unlegislate through the judicial branch as well. And if that's the way the left wants to play it, then we should once again fight fire with fire. To not do so allows people to be run out of business based on the fact that they refuse to comport to a leftist progressive ideology that they do not agree with and indeed is protected by constitutional rights under the Bill of Rights. This is easy. And like I said, the ACLU, an organization that is past its prime, at least, and may be, in fact, turning itself into a public nuisance. 866-660-5759, 660-5759. Now, what about Senate Bill 4? The anti-sanctuary city law passed by this legislature. What about that? We go to Texas politics next. We'll be back with more in just a moment on the Wells Report on 660 AM The Answer.
Attention business owners. Are you struggling while waiting for your customers to pay on their net 30s, 60s, or 90s? Can't get a business loan because you have no equity, bad credit, or no credit at all? Then you need to call AmeriFactors. Get cash right now for your invoices instead of getting turned down by the banks or taking out a high-interest business loan. There is nothing to pay back. We simply buy your accounts receivable. And if those clients don't pay on those invoices, we take the loss. You have already been paid. We don't give you funds based on your credit. We give you funds based on your accounts receivable. Go buy that new equipment, hire those new employees, or use the working funds to bid on jobs you never thought you could go after. With AmeriFactors, there is no more waiting for your customers to pay. We give you the working funds while we wait for the net 30s, 60s, and 90s. Fund your business today with AmeriFactors by calling 800-698-9150. That's 800-698-9150. Or text FACTOR to 41411. That's FACTOR to 41411. And simply click the link to call and get funds within 48 hours.
Hey, everybody, Mark Davis. It's going to be a long, hot summer of conservative battles as we try to get things done that we were looking to achieve in the election of President Trump. And as we move through the summer with challenges around every corner, there's something you and I can do. There's something I do every day, and you can join me, and that's being a Patriot Mobile customer. PatriotMobile.com/Mark for special offers just for you, or 1-800-A-PATRIOT. What is the difference you make when you sign up with Patriot Mobile? Well, if you're in bed with Big Mobile right now, your money went to Hillary for president. It goes to all kinds of causes on the left, and that stops. They only contribute to conservative causes and candidates at Patriot Mobile, and we as customers get to pick them. So learn more at 1-800-A-PATRIOT and PatriotMobile.com/Mark. Learn about the fantastic plans. You're going to get great customer service, same phone selection, bring over your same phone number, and save a bunch with Patriot Mobile. Learn more and move conservatism downfield. PatriotMobile.com/Mark, PatriotMobile.com/Mark, or 1-800-A-PATRIOT.
Have you checked your Google search results lately? Search results are usually the first impression that people form of you or your business. So make sure that they create a positive impression with ReputationDefender.com. What the internet says about you can have a big impact on your life and your livelihood, even if it's not true. Fortunately, you can now control how you look online and in online search results with ReputationDefender.com. Call 800-827-5948 now. That's 800-827-5948 for your free reputation analysis. If you have negative material from an ex-employee, upset patient, or former client, newspaper article, legal issue, social media, or other source showing up in your search results, you can combat it with ReputationDefender.com. Our dedicated experts in patented technology can help make your online search results look their best. Call 800-827-5948 to learn more. 800-827-5948. That's 800-827-5948. Or visit ReputationDefender.com.
Guys, are you tired of being tired? Frustrated because it seems impossible to lose belly fat? If you're looking for a solution, then listen to Mark.
I had fantastic results with the Andro 400 Max. Probably lost 35 pounds, and more impressive than that was the inches I lost off of my belly and my waist. And the increased energy is fantastic. I'll be totally honest, I tried a different product, and I wasn't happy with the different product. You guys are considerably cheaper than the other brand, and I can really feel the difference.
Andro 400 Max, the extra strength, all natural testosterone booster, the safe, easy, and affordable way to gain energy and lose stubborn belly fat. Satisfaction guaranteed or your money back. Feel and look like a new man. Go to andro400.com or call 888-400-0435. 888-400-0435.
Hi, this is John Taffer from Bar Rescue. I've seen firsthand what restaurant owners can do with the capital to manage cash flow gaps. Cabbage is so important. Cabbage provides lines of credit of up to $150,000. Apply online and get a decision right away. Withdraw funds without reapplying. I signed up and had a decision in minutes. Cabbage has helped over 100,000 small businesses from every industry. Get started at cabbage.com/owner or 855-CABBAGE. That's cabbage with a K.
Line of credit is subject to credit approval. See terms and conditions.
Right now at Kohl's, it's not our everyday sale. For a limited time, shop hundreds of epic deals in-store and online. No coupons needed. Women's tees and tanks, just $5.99. Girls swimwear, $10. Beach towels, only $8.99. And an ice cream or cotton candy maker, just $29.99. Stock up, save big, and get $10 Kohl's cash for every $50 spent. It's not our everyday sale. Right now through the 4th of July. Only at Kohl's. Flex style. See store at Kohl's.com for details.
660 AM The Answer. 660 AM TheAnswer.com. The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. The Wells Report with John David Wells on 660 AM The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is John David Wells. Our telephone number is 866-660-5759. I want to thank you very much for being a part of the broadcast tonight. Give us a buzz. Let me get to Lance in Bedford, Texas. Hey, Lance, what's new?
Hey, brother. Thank you for your service on the air and in the Guard.
Thank you.
It's been so long, and that brings me to the point that thank God for you and Vicky and the team, because I can be so caught up at work for months on end, but I can tune in and catch up on everything just in a couple of shows.
That is exactly what we are trying to do, sir. That is exactly what the mission of this broadcast is to give you the news every day.
But there's so many things and moving parts and, well, for lack of terms, BS factors going on with government that we can just tune into you and catch the straight story on what's going on. Truth spoken here. Thanks for the service, because it makes it easy to catch up and be able to catch on to what's going on.
You're certainly welcome, Lance, and thanks very much for the phone call. By the way, you made the promo, buddy. Thank you.
Thank you.
One of the good guys. That is Lance. If you want to learn how to defend yourself in the terror age, you need to contact Lance. If you need to get the number, just call Vicky, 866-660-5759. While we're on this topic of legal issues that may or may not end up before the Supreme Court of the United States, Senate Bill 4, passed by the Texas legislature this time around, is currently finding itself in a San Antonio courtroom. A San Antonio judge is going to consider whether or not Senate Bill 4 is constitutional. SB 4 requires local law enforcement to comply with Immigrations and Customs Enforcement detainers, which are requests to hold someone in jail while their immigration status is investigated. It also allows local officers to ask for a person's immigration papers during routine traffic stops. The law is scheduled to take effect on September 1st. A handful of Texas cities, including Austin, are now suing the state, saying the law promotes discrimination. The Department of Justice sided with Texas in the litigation over SB 4. Immigrants United spoke about the effects of this fight here in Texas. The organization's executive director said that they're mobilizing as many people as they can. What they're trying to do is push us back into the shadows with SB 4 and with scaring our community like that. We can't let that happen, said Luis Ortega, the executive director. We have to go out, we have to fight back for our children and for our families. Isn't that strange? You're fighting for your children and for your families. We're fighting for American law. Luis, you're wrong. If you have to go out and fight, you have to go out and fight for a change in American law. You're not even in the right place. You need to be in Washington, D.C. You know, you take a bunch of leftist politicians in some small town someplace and you can convince them of just about anything. As long as you make a decent enough contribution to their reelection fund. But I got to make this plain. We have laws in this nation. The reason why people leave Mexico, for example, and come to the United States to work is because of those laws. I dare say that if we set aside those laws like you want to by going out and fighting to fight for your children and fight for your families and to get out of the shadows, You're making us more like the country that everybody's trying to leave. Immigrants United puts together workshops to educate people about their rights, putting them in touch with immigration lawyers, teaching them how to manage their money if a family member were to be detained. I think what they probably also ought to do is they also ought to put together a few classes on just exactly how American law works. So the hearing was done today. The judge did not give an estimated time on when he's going to render a decision. This is according to Ashley Godo of KVUE Television. That's ABC here in town. The state will have an hour and a half to make arguments, followed by the federal government. Most say the law is too vague, would allow officers to do whatever they want with no oversight. Well, that's not true. There's department policy on that. And for that reason, it's like all these people that are fighting for this, they keep wanting the federal government to be the be-all, end-all of everything. It's not the way the country works. So in one fell swoop, they want to get rid of American law and they want to get rid of federalism. We live in the United States of America. The states have a say. Now, I don't expect this San Antonio judge to be willing to allow the people of the state of Texas to be able to have laws in their state their own way. I don't expect that's going to be the case. The only way that I can see it happening is that if indeed U.S. District Judge Orlando Garcia, hearing the lawsuit and so on and so forth, is suddenly able to do what most liberal judges can't do in the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals or the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, and that's actually read the law. There is nothing standing in the way of this law being completely, all it does is a law that guarantees that Texas will follow federal law. This is a federal court. How will U.S. District Judge Orlando Garcia find against the law in the state of Texas without ruling against federal law, which he is supposed to interpret? That's going to be the kind of liberal legerdemain that should be punished when it's reversed on appeal. Otherwise, Orlando Garcia can rule any way he pleases. 866-660-5759, 866-660-5759. Eric in Richardson, thanks for joining us. Welcome to the Wells Report.
Hey, good evening.
Good evening.
Where has common sense gone to?
I don't know.
I came here 14 years ago, obeyed the laws. Most people are rushing to this country because where they come from is there's lawlessness. A few individuals have taken over, and I don't get a point why people want us to become lawless. It doesn't make sense whatsoever.
The only thing I can say, Eric, is this, is that there are people who are living in countries that are so awful, and it is a matter of survival for them. And so they come to the United States in an effort to survive for the next few years. They figure that taking the chance of violating American law and hanging around with these advocacy groups that promise a lot and deliver nothing will be enough to be able to keep them in the game long enough so that the politics or the laws will change. In the meantime, they could do what you did, which is show up, get an attorney, do the right thing, get a visa, do whatever it is that you had to do to be able to come here and do it right. Are you a green card holder or are you a naturalized citizen?
Right now, I'm a naturalized citizen, a proud U.S. citizen, and we have to keep this country the way it is and make sure that if other people are running away from the world to come, hit that reset button and change their lives, we need to create that environment, because what these guys are doing, they want everybody to go down in a hole.
Right.
And we're not going to allow it. It doesn't look right. So what are they telling me? I was foolish for obeying the law at great personal cost?
You know what? That is exactly what they're trying to tell you. They're trying to say that where did you come from, by the way, Eric?
I came from Cameroon in West Africa.
You came from Cameroon, and that was 10 years ago. And how long
14.
how long did it take you to become a U.S. citizen?
14 years. I became a citizen last September.
Okay. What do you do for a living now?
I'm a geologist. I'm also a professor at teach university.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
I got my PhD in geology, and it's been quite interesting. I'm working on sharing my story to make sure that there are other people who came and did it right. If we're talking about changing the laws, we should look at making sure that those people who are doing it right are not left out of the conversation, because right now, some people have hijacked the conversation. It's as if there are people here who are not doing it right. It's not true.
Exactly. It's not correct. It's not the right thing to do. And people like you who see people like this that try to go around the law, it makes you think. It makes you wonder. I want you to get this, Eric. It makes you wonder whether or not you've got rocks in your head. You see, because you're a doctor of geology. I threw that one in there.
Oh, you're right. I get what they're saying. So I am of the opinion that those people who are here that have broken the law, they will never have the opportunity to become citizens. We can regularize their stay somehow to be humane, as they're calling for, but
true.
We don't reward lawbreakers.
Exactly. Thank you, Eric. I appreciate that. Dr. Eric, geologist from Cameroon. He's been here 14 years. He's a United States citizen. He's a doctor of geology. This is why we need immigration that works. Immigration systems that work make the country better. And that's true for any country on the planet. Because what you do is you qualify people to be new citizens. And they can't just show up. They have to show up and actually be able to contribute to society to be able to get these visas and get national citizenship. That's what needs to happen. But what about these people who are, quote, living in the shadows? What about these poor people I was referencing earlier that are quite literally living through, say, for example, a matter of survival? What about them? I feel for them. I am sorry that they're in that position. But the answer is not here in the United States. The answer is in your home country. The answer is to demand a better life there. And I know you'll be beaten and you'll be shot, in some cases killed. But Mexico exports its working class to the United States. They get paid two ways. Actually, three. One, they don't have to change their ridiculous form of government to actually work for the benefit of their people, because they don't have the constant irritant of people in the working class saying, hey, what about us? Two, they don't have to spend money on programs, so they get paid another way. And then three, the people that are here send money back home. So an export of the working class of, say, for example, Mexico, becomes a way for them to make money. It's horrific. It's absolutely horrific. And it doesn't benefit Mexico. Some of the hardest working, most caring people in Mexico are living here because they can't make a living in Mexico. You know why? Too much greed, too much oligarchy, too many people making money off the government, too many corrupt people. That's why. I hope that U.S. District Judge U.S. District Judge Orlando Garcia, I hope that he finds his American card, and I hope that he realizes that American law is just and true and not bigoted. Not everything in the United States is bigoted, and the law is certainly not. The law is the law. If you have a problem with the law, then by all means, follow the proper process and change it. But don't change it simply because you get a sympathetic judge to rap a gavel at a critical moment. This is the Wells Report.
What if you could have an experience of a lifetime, and I mean it, a lifetime this year? Dennis Prager here, and a timely and important expedition to the land of Israel awaits you. Make plans now for the Stand with Israel tour happening this fall. Join me on a 9-day trip to Israel that offers you firsthand insight into Israel's unique past and probably unique future. We'll introduce you to the geopolitical, economic, and security dynamics of a truly remarkable nation. Get a behind-the-scenes view into many of the places you've read and heard about, all during United Jerusalem's 50th anniversary. The Western Wall, Jerusalem, the Dead Sea, Golan Heights, and much more. With expert guides and important lectures at key sites, all in the comfort and safety of first-class accommodations.
Look forward to something special this year. Stand with Israel. For details about this all-inclusive trip happening this fall, visit 660amtheanswer.com for all the details.
You are about to hear from Dr. Douglas Howard.
After 20 years and tens of thousands of success stories, Balance of Nature is still the only pure whole food supplement available. Balance of Nature has served more than 500 million servings of fruits and vegetables. Don't accept imitations, copies, or substitutions. Our success stories are unique to Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies. You'll know you have the real thing when you open the bottles and see, smell, and taste real produce.
It is worth every penny I pay because they really have made such a difference in my life. It is making me feel a whole lot better.
Even my doctor thought it was a good product.
Take Dr. Howard's Health Challenge and find out how to get 2 free sets of fruits and veggies. We'll even ship them to you for free. Call now for details.
Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code 660AM.
Have you written a book and want to get it published? Then call Christian Faith Publishing at 800-230-1135 immediately. That's 800-230-1135. Christian Faith Publishing is looking for Christian authors of all types of books. Christian Faith Publishing reviews each and every book submitted to us, and we give you our feedback. And if we like what we read, we will get your book into bookstores and for sale on Amazon, the Apple iTunes Store, Barnes & Noble, and other outlets. We handle everything: editing, cover design, copyright protection, printing, publicity, and distribution. Whether you've written an inspirational work, a novel, a children's book, poetry, or a biography and want to get it published, you need to call Christian Faith Publishing immediately. Call 800-230-1135 now for your free author submission kit. That's 800-230-1135. To get your book published, call 800-230-1135 for your free author submission kit. That's 800-230-1135. Work with a publisher who shares your Christian values of integrity and honesty. Call Christian Faith Publishing at 800-230-1135 for your free author submission kit.
Do you have low back or neck pain? Does it run down your arms or your legs? Do you have a bulging or herniated disc degeneration, or spinal arthritis? Even worse, have you been told you need back surgery or injections? If you answered yes, then please listen to what I have to say. My name is Dr. Chad Vines, DC, at Genesis Back and Neck, and I use the most advanced spinal decompression system available, the DRX 9000, to correct back problems just like yours. We don't use addictive drugs, and we don't use any type of dangerous invasive surgery for these problems. Spinal decompression is safe, FDA cleared, and it's not painful, and has about an 86% success rate. We accept most insurances, and your first visit will be at no charge. You will sit down and visit with me personally until I've answered all of your questions. And if you're a candidate for decompression, you can try out the treatment all at no charge to you. So if you're ready to not hurt anymore and don't want to have surgery, call me at 817-328-1922. That's 817-328-1922, or online at mylowback.com.
Sean Hannity here for my friends at Generator Supercenter, the great American story. Now, this started in 2005 with two brothers selling and repairing generators out of their garage in Texas. Today, they are the #1 Generac dealer in the nation. #1 means more savings for you. When the power goes down, keep your home or business up and running with a Generac standby power system from the Generator Supercenter. Financing available, payments as low as $100 a month. GeneratorSupercenter.com. That's GeneratorSupercenter.com.
You check things all the time, like your email every 10 seconds or your ex's Instagram. But what about checking something as important as your credit? Well, Discover makes it quick, easy, and best of all, free. Discover is now offering FICO credit scores to everyone for free, even if you're not a customer. And checking your score won't hurt your credit. We call it the Discover Credit Scorecard. And once you know your score, you should check to see if your current credit card is the best fit for you. Check your credit, compare your card. Go to discover.com/credit scorecard. Limitations apply.
660 AM, The Answer. You're hearing tomorrow's front page on the Wells Report with John David Wells on 660 AM, The Answer.
Sometimes really good moves by appellate courts like the Supreme Court of the United States, really good moves are no move at all. Today, the Supreme Court declined to hear the appeal of a gun rights case, leaving a lower court's decision which restored gun rights to those who had been convicted of certain nonviolent misdemeanor crimes. Binderup v. the Attorney General of the United States dealt with whether or not certain nonviolent misdemeanor offenses should result in a lifetime revocation of the offender's Second Amendment rights. Daniel Binderup, who had pled guilty to misdemeanor corruption of a minor for a consensual affair he engaged in with a 17-year-old girl in 1996, and Julio Suarez, who was convicted of a misdemeanor of carrying a gun in his car without a license, both lost their gun rights despite committing nonviolent misdemeanor crimes and never serving any time in jail. They filed separate cases contesting the relevant federal law. Their cases were eventually combined into one at the Third U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals in Pennsylvania. The court ruled in favor of the plaintiffs. Today, the Supreme Court rejected an appeal of the finding, leaving the lower court's ruling intact. The petitions for writ of certiorari are denied, the court said. Justice Ginsburg and Justice Sotomayor would grant the petitions for writs of certiorari. In other words, Ginsburg and Sotomayor would have allowed the case to be heard. They did not file a dissent in writing. So there you go. So Binderup versus the U.S. Attorney General, found for the good guys by the Supreme Court of the United States. I'm feeling better. How about you? This is the Wells Report.
Tune in Sundays at noon for the Lifestyles Unlimited Real Estate Investor Radio Show. Join us each Sunday when we discuss the principles and practices of the successful real estate investor. We bring you experts to answer your questions on how to use real estate to build wealth and passive realized monthly income, and teach you the ins and outs of investing in real estate. So tune in Sundays at noon, right here for the Lifestyle Unlimited Real Estate Investor Radio Show.
Join us for the Real Investor Radio Show right here on 660 AM, The Answer.
Hey, it's Mark Davis. To get through life, to get through a vacation, to get through a work day, to get through whatever your day may hold, there's a lot of walking involved. And if that walking is painful, you've got a problem. I'm so glad to send you to the Good Feet stores to end that problem, getting you out of pain today. At their locations in Plano, Fort Worth, South Lake, and Waco. In fact, South Lake and Waco are open noon to 5 Sundays. What's going on at Good Feet? They're delivering America's arch supports that are #1 for getting people out of pain. There could be ball your foot pain, heel pain, plantar fasciitis, structural stuff, and that foot pain can radiate upwards. It can become hip pain, leg pain, even back pain. Let's get you out of pain at the Good Feet stores. For workouts, for running, your balance is better, your workouts are better, you're just feeling great. Work shoes, workout shoes, comfy shoes, even high heels. They've got everybody taken care of at the Good Feet stores. Plano, Fort Worth, South Lake, and Waco. Good Feet DFW. To learn more, goodfeetdfw.com. Get out of pain today. goodfeetdfw.com.
More praise for author B.K. Dell's Mead Mountain.
Best book I've read in years. My heart has been so heavy with our world, I don't think I need to explain myself. I've been seeking, praying, asking God, what can we do? What can any of us do? Today, I found the answer. God wants us to rescue his people, one person at a time. It's his job to look at the whole. Thank you, BK Dell, for this amazing clarification and for reminding me, one step, one person at a time, because they are worth it.
Available on Amazon or visit bkdell.com. That's bkdell.com.
Hey, Mom, I got your message. Do you need me to come home early?
Hi, dear. We're all doing fine. The kids haven't slowed down all day, and thanks to Blue Emu, neither have I.
But I thought you said...
Well, I tried your father's Blue Emu Maximum Arthritis Relief Cream. It worked fast to relieve the pain in my achy muscles and joints.
Blue Emu, huh?
That's right, and it's odor-free.
Blue Emu Maximum Arthritis Relief. Beat the pain and enjoy life. Available at Walmart and Walgreens.
This is 660 AM, The Answer. A service of Salem Media Group. NASDAQ as SALM, KSKY, Balch Springs, Dallas, Fort Worth. 660 AM, The Answer.
Fox News Radio, I'm Karen McHugh. The Congressional Budget Office estimates another 22 million will be uninsured by 2026 under the current Senate health plan. But President Trump sounding optimistic that the Senate will pass the bill.
I don't think they're that far off, famous last words, right? But I think we're going to get there.
Now, to get there, President Trump will need to convince at least 3 Republican senators to get on board. So he is applying pressure by calling them.
Fox's Kristen Fisher. The Supreme Court temporarily at least gives a green light to President Trump's travel ban.
Shortly after the Supreme Court made the announcement, the president reacted in a statement, writing, "Today's unanimous decision is a clear victory for our national security. It allows the travel suspension for the 6 terror-prone countries and the refugee suspension to become largely effective."
Fox's John Decker. A mixed bag on Wall Street. The Dow closed up nearly 15. Fox News. We report, you decide.
You're listening to 660 AM, The Answer.
From Plano to Denton down to Louisville too. Huffine's has it. Also in McKinney. We'll prove it to you.
Huffine's One Hail of a Sale continues in conjunction with Huffine's Drive and Discover event, which means record-breaking savings to you at Huffine's Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, Plano, and Louisville. The insurance adjustments have been made, and now is your opportunity to save thousands on Huffine's Texas-sized selection of new Chryslers, Jeeps, Dodges, and Rams. This should be the auto buying opportunity of a lifetime with Huffine's biggest savings ever. And from everyone at Huffine's, we'd like to thank you for voting Huffine's the Consumer's Choice Auto Group of the Year for the 9th consecutive year. Visit Huffine's Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Plano at Ohio and Plano Parkway, and Huffine's Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Louisville right off the I-35 just north of 121, or online at huffines.net.
My legs were awful.
I always felt uncomfortable and self-conscious.
I had never been real happy about the spider veins in my ankles and my legs.
I started noticing fatigue in my leg.
I was so self-conscious. Then I went to Vein Clinics of America.
It's time to love your legs again. Vein Clinics of America is the oldest, largest, most experienced vein treatment center in the U.S. Using state-of-the-art laser and minimally invasive treatments, they can begin restoring the natural beauty of your legs in as little as 1 hour with no downtime, and most treatments are covered by insurance.
I found the Vein Clinics of America, and look at my legs now.
You just feel like, what, I want to do so much today. It's such a big difference.
My experience with Vein Clinics of America was amazing.
Make sure your legs look and feel their best for summer. Call now to schedule a free fast-track consultation to find out how you can finally get rid of those embarrassing varicose and spider veins. Call 800-300-3388. 800-300-3388.
been a small little difficulty with our sound on the television share, and so I'm fixing it. Theoretically, that should work now. See, you can hear it now. Yeah. There we go.
Operator error.
It's not operator error. For some reason, it just quits. I don't understand why. I don't get it, he said. 866-660-5759, 866-660-5759. Things are getting close to being a problem for Loretta Lynch. And the thing about this for me is that it's kind of a shame insofar as really the damage that was done to the Attorney General's office in the Department of Justice was done by her predecessor. And I don't know. I mean, on one hand, yeah, I can see that Loretta Lynch would indeed be a political player and all of that. But I keep wondering whether or not she'd be in as deep a trouble if it wasn't for the fact that her predecessor turned the Department of Justice into a political clearinghouse for the use of American law and American legal policy to foment and move forward a leftist political agenda. That being said, there's another prominent Democrat out now saying that he's got concerns about allegations over ex-Attorney General Loretta Lynch and how she may have sought to keep a lid on last year's email probe of Hillary Clinton. Schiff is the top Democrat on the House Intelligence Committee. He aired his concerns in an interview Sunday, said he wants to hear from Lynch personally. I'd like to hear what Loretta Lynch's explanation for this is, either by having her come to the Hill or having her speak publicly, he said. The call significantly ups the pressure on Lynch as the push to scrutinize her conduct in last year's Clinton email investigation becomes more bipartisan. Here's the problem. See, all of this came down as something to attack to attack Donald Trump with, the deep state's attack on Donald Trump. This supposed obstruction of justice. They should have been more careful. You know, it's like Donald Trump was supposedly this naive guy without a whole lot of political experience. All of that, by the way, is trumped, pardon the pun, by being correct, both in law and in the application of law. So far, Donald Trump, maybe the only thing he knows is the book. Because apparently the politicians and, oh, by the way, the United States media has forgotten the reality of all of it. And now things are beginning to snap back in the face of people that should have known better to begin with. One of them, Loretta Lynch. The renewed attention comes from fired FBI Director James Comey. Again, James Comey used as a useful idiot by both the Clintons and President Obama, has this tendency to say the truth, which I guess speaks highly for him in some way, shape, or form. So when those pieces of truth come flying out of his mouth, suddenly, oops, there are problems for people that are not served well by the truth. Do you remember James Comey saying that Loretta Lynch had instructed him to describe a probe of Hillary Clinton's email as a matter, not an investigation? Remember that? Comey said he was confused, and he cited that directive along with Lynch's unusual tarmac meeting with former President Bill Clinton while the investigation was ongoing in his decision to announce the FBI's findings on his own. Now, to me, that is not trying to go around Loretta Lynch, who was strangely, shall we say, compromised by these facts. This was James Comey trying to save her from having to make a really tough decision based on her own misconduct. See, I don't believe that the James Comey's trying to be the good guy in this piece. I believe that James Comey is essentially ruining this otherwise reasonably well laid out political conspiracy that was just supposed to fade, like so many others, into the background. Comey's handling of the case would be cited by the Trump administration in the decision to fire him, though speculation remains widespread as to what the existence of the probe of Russia meddling and possible collusion within the Trump campaign may have played. Now, what you have to understand is this, is that everybody, as far back as January, that had anything to do with the legal investigations of this supposed Russian collusion have found that nobody's guilty of Russian collusion. Not even, I ran across something today. Michael Flynn was cleared of any wrongdoing in his conversations with Russian officials in January. And yet he gets ruined as a part of a political vendetta by the Obama administration. Remember Obama administration having a problem with Flynn over Benghazi? You know, this is going to be the legacy, and I hate to say this. This is going to be the legacy of the Obama administration. Roughhouse Chicago politics gone wrong. And snapping back in the face of a president who could have united this nation behind him. He could have been one of the greatest presidents ever. If he would have buried this well-used political tool of racism and set it aside by being more, shall we say, more Martin Luther King than, say, for example, I don't know, give me somebody. Yeah, Al Sharpton. If he had been more Martin Luther King than Al Sharpton, think about where this country would be right now. But no, we gotta show these Republicans and these right-wing people, we gotta show who's boss. My way or the highway. We're doing it this way because the country's in absolute desperate need of comprehensive change. Yes, it's the last superpower on earth, but we have to change it. Why? Democrats are still focusing on the Russia allegations, although they are flying away. They get more and more faint and more embarrassing every single day. Senator Dianne Feinstein wants to know more about Loretta Lynch. Adam Schiff wants to know more about Loretta Lynch. There may be a perfectly accurate explanation by Loretta Lynch about why she thought matter was more appropriate rather than investigation. So I wouldn't assume that James Comey's characterization is the last word on it, even though I'm sure it's accurate, said Adam Schiff. Asked if he would if he would have Lynch come to the White House, the House Intelligence Panel, he said he's not sure that that's part of the Russia probe. But I would like to hear what her explanation for that was. I certainly wouldn't want to distract us from what we need to do to get to the bottom of the Russia allegations. But at this particular moment, this is looking really bad. Now remember, the elephant in the room is this other email that James Comey has in his possession. And apparently this email is one from Loretta Lynch that proves these allegations as true. Now, we haven't heard anything about this for a few days. And the reason we haven't heard anything about this for a few days is they're trying to figure out how to get out of it. They're trying to figure out how to save Loretta Lynch's bacon. And I'm not sure it's going to be possible. But if they can't save Loretta Lynch's bacon, then they're not going to be able to save Susan Rice's bacon. And if they can't save Susan Rice's bacon, what about Hillary Clinton's bacon? There's going to be a whole lot of bacon getting fried in the next year or so if this first domino falls. And I don't see how that can be stopped. The sad point about all of this is that we've been right on this from day one. This hasn't been hard to figure out. The only way you can't figure this stuff out is if you're not paying attention or if you just refuse to see the reality of it all. These are easy dots to connect. The question is, how do you get someone who has so backed themselves into the corners with lies? The only way for them to get out of it is to say, mea culpa, I did this, I was wrong, please don't send me to jail. But you can't stop from sending them to jail in some of this. They were willing to take a president into impeachment over obstruction of justice. Now we have two cases of real obstruction of justice. One against a former First Lady and a former Secretary of State, and one against a former Attorney General of the United States. I don't see how President Trump and I don't see how Jeff Sessions can turn away from any of this. Attorney General Jeff Sessions has got to look at this and say, okay, what are we going to do now? The reports come amidst numerous allegations of political interference and controversial and high-profile investigations spanning the current and previous administrations. This according to Committee Chairman Chuck Grassley. Grassley, Feinstein, Lindsey Graham, Sheldon Whitehouse all penned the letter. What does Judge Andrew Napolitano say? He says that former Attorney General Loretta Lynch could be facing jail time for obstruction of justice. The females to former DNC chairwoman Deborah Wasserman Schultz come to the surface. And since we know that they were written and who they were sent to, all we have to do is see ink on page. This is the Wells Report.
In 1967, Arab forces attempted to wipe Israel off the face of the earth. 6 days later, Israel had triumphed, and Jerusalem stood reunified for the first time in nearly 2,000 years. Honor the 50-year anniversary of this historic triumph by joining Mike Gallagher and Dennis Prager for Stand with Israel, a 9-day odyssey celebrating Israel's past, present, and future. Explore Israel's heritage at Galilee and Jerusalem. Embrace the present, touring modern Tel Aviv. You'll meet with high-ranking Israeli leaders and understand more deeply the complexities and marvels of modern Israel. You'll walk on soil contended for with courage. As a conservative American, you can show your support. Stand with Israel. October 22nd through November 1st includes luxury accommodations, delicious meals, and safe transportation.
Look forward to something special this year. Stand with Israel. For details about this all-inclusive trip happening this fall, visit 660amtheanswer.com.
You are about to hear from Dr. Douglas Howard. After 20 years and tens of thousands of success stories, Balance of Nature is still the only pure whole food supplement available. Balance of Nature has served more than 500 million servings of fruits and vegetables. Don't accept imitations, copies, or substitutions. Our success stories are unique to Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies. You'll know you have the real thing when you open the bottles and see, smell, and taste real produce.
It is worth every penny I pay because they really have made such a difference in my life. It is making me feel a whole lot better.
Even my doctor thought it was a good product.
Take Dr. Howard's Health Challenge and find out how to get 2 free sets of fruits and veggies. We'll even ship them to you for free. Call now for details.
Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code 660AM.
Hi, I'm Jeff Stewart with Reliant Air Conditioning. In the last 2 months, we've saved our customers over $500,000. How'd we do it? With our exclusive partnership with your utility provider, we get to offer instant rebates of up to $1,500 when you replace that worn-out AC system. When you combine that with Carrier's Cool Cash savings of up to $3,500, we're talking saving over $5,000 on a brand new AC system that can cut your electric bill in half. Now that's how you save people money without gimmicks. But you'll have to hurry because the utility funds can run out at any time. So we're scheduling our free estimates on a first-come, first-served basis. So call 2 other companies first, get their price, and then call Reliant Air Conditioning, and you'll see how we've been gimmick-free since '83. Call 877-YOUR-HERO. That's 877-968-7437 or online at ReliantAirConditioning.com.
Reliant Air Conditioning. Call 877-YOUR-HERO.
Warning. If you're drowning in debt you can't afford, do not let the credit card companies trick you into thinking that you have to pay it all back, because you don't. What the credit card companies don't want you to know is that there's actually a way to get debt-free without paying off your entire debt or going bankrupt. If you have $5,000 or more in credit card debt, you now have the right to let us settle that debt for a fraction of what you owe. For free information, call Credit Associates now, 1-800-600-8199. We'll even show you how much money you could save. If you can't afford to pay off all your debt, do not let the credit card companies trick you into thinking that you have to. Call Credit Associates now for free information on how to get debt-free faster than you ever thought possible without debt consolidation or bankruptcy. We depend on your success and offer a guarantee, so there's no risk. For free information, call now, 1-800-600-8199. That's 1-800-600-8199. 1-800-600-8199.
Thanks to us, men all over DFW have been getting a better night's sleep.
Thank you, Simple Sleep Services.
Waking up refreshed and well-rested.
Thanks, Simple Sleep.
Happier and healthier.
Thank you so much, Simple Sleep Services.
At Simple Sleep Services, we promote the health and well-being of our patients by offering them the simple solution for treating snoring and sleep apnea. A custom mouthpiece you pop in at bedtime. It's comfortable, effective, and in most cases covered by medical insurance. Our dream team of experts are board-certified sleep physicians and highly trained dentists who provide the least invasive solution possible for a great night's sleep without loud, obnoxious snoring or the health risks of obstructive sleep apnea. Visit simplesleepservices.com or call 469-685-1700. That's simplesleepservices.com or 469-685-1700. We guarantee you.
Thanks, Simple Sleep.
You'll thank us for it.
Learn a little something at the start of your day. The Mark Davis Show. Mornings 7 to 10 on 660 AM. The Answer. Isn't thinking so much more fun than getting yelled at? The Wells Report on 660 AM. The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is John David Wells. Donald Trump took to Twitter this morning to criticize the Obama administration's response to Russian meddling in the 2016 presidential election. In a series of tweets, President Obama did nothing, according to Trump, after the CIA first informed him of Russian interference in an August 2016 memo because he expected Hillary Clinton would win. He did not want to rock the boat. According to Trump, he colluded or obstructed, but did not choke. Trump's tweets were followed the Washington Post reporting of new details on Obama's response regarding knowledge of Russian meddling. Former Obama administration officials told the Post that President Obama failed to properly respond to the Russia threat. It's the hardest thing about my entire time of government to defend, said former senior Obama administration official involved in the White House deliberations on Russia. I feel like we sort of choked. Well, all I can say is this. You know, once again, if there's Russian collusion, if there's Russian, or if there's obstruction or what have you, you got to sort of go all the way through what that question or what those accusations mean. In other words, if Trump's guilty of Russian collusion, then isn't President Obama also guilty of Russian collusion insofar as he knew all about it before Donald Trump knew all about it and yet did nothing? He did nothing? So why would the Russians stop if the President of the United States does nothing? Is that not collusion in allowing it to continue? Now, I'm going to say something. After saying that, I want to say something else. I don't believe President Obama colluded with Russians. I don't believe the Russians did anything that harmed the election in any way, shape, or form. Do I believe that they may have been tapping on the shoulders of people around various states and so on and so forth trying to hack systems? Yes. Yes, I do. Do I believe that Russia was one of 100 countries trying to do it? Yes. Yes, I do. Do I believe Donald Trump was colluding with the Russians? No, not any more than President Obama was. In other words, there are interactions between governments. There are people trying to screw us up. It's not just the Russians. Why is it that all the Democrats in the world would try to throw this on President Trump when he was candidate Trump, and yet they were doing the same thing the entire time? Why is it only now that we are finding the truth? The mainstream media suddenly finding a way to actually explain what happened. I know what happened. You know what happened. Here are the dots. The Democrat Party got down to the end of the 2016 presidential election and realized they were going to lose. And so they cobbled up the most believable thing that they could come up with that would damage President Trump the most when he was candidate Trump, and said that he was colluding with the Russians to try to meddle in the 2016 presidential election. Figuring that, hey, if they lost the election, who would care at the end of the day? Unfortunately, we care at the end of the day. So a political ploy, a gambit that fails, is haunting all of these people now, as well it should. Perhaps if you play by the rules, maybe next time you won't have to explain things that are unexplainable. This is the Wells Report.
Mike Gallagher. The Mike Gallagher Show.
I was encouraging you to go out and vote on Georgia's 6th, but something else happened yesterday. There's something that I think is a little bit unanticipated. This has been a huge game changer for President Trump. Momentum is important. He has had a lot of wins at his face. Suddenly, he's got some wind at his back.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekday mornings at 10, right before Dennis Prager at noon on 660 AM. The Answer.
Hey, it's Mark Davis for my friend Josh DeShong. Let's make this the summer where Josh sells your home as quickly as he sold ours. I love this guy. You get the Josh DeShong promise. He comes, sits down with you. You talk price and time frame. You reach an agreement on a price you'd love and a time frame you can handle. And if he can't sell that house of yours at that price in that time frame, he buys it. He promises if he can't sell it, he buys it. So get going. 972-325-6644. 972-325-6644 or getsold.net. Now, not only will he do that on the market, but there's an instant buyout program right now. They can give you an offer today without even listing the home. Best part is in a lot of areas throughout North Texas, you're getting full market value without even listing the home, not worrying about showings and stuff. So if you're really ready to move fast, go for the instant buyout program. 972-325-6644. Ask about it at 972-325-6644 or getsold.net.
Finding great candidates to hire can be, well, like trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter is different. It doesn't depend on candidates finding you. ZipRecruiter is where it needs to be to find the right candidates. In fact, over 80% of jobs on ZipRecruiter get a qualified candidate in just one day. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, only ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
Used by businesses of all sizes, ZipRecruiter offers the most qualified job candidates with immediate results. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter free. That's right, free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio offer. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio offer for your free trial. ZipRecruiter.com/radio offer.
Amazing to realize, but it's been almost 2 years I've been talking with you about Relief Factor, and I can tell you I've been continually inundated with testimonials. This is Michael Medved, and I've received thousands of testimonials that come in telling me how excited people are to be out of pain. Like Bob from Ohio, who writes, I had a herniated disc in my back in 1984. I started taking Relief Factor, and for the first time, I have been completely out of constant, sometimes excruciating pain. I'm now able to work in the yard, around the house, and do my job in comfort. This is a great product. That's the end of the quote. If you're struggling with ongoing back or neck pain, shoulder, hip, or knee pain, or general muscle pain, aches, pains of any kind, do what tens of thousands of others have done so successfully. Go to ReliefFactor.com and order their 3-week quick start for just $19.95. 1-800-500-8384. That's 1-800-500-8384.
Right now at Kohl's, it's not our everyday sale. For a limited time, shop hundreds of epic deals in-store and online. No coupons needed. Women's tees and tanks, just $5.99. Girls swimwear, $10. Beach towels, only $8.99. And an ice cream or cotton candy maker, just $29.99. Stock up, save big, and get $10 Kohl's cash for every $50 spent. It's not our everyday sale. Right now through the 4th of July. Only at Kohl's. Flex styles. See store at Kohl's.com for details.
Our sister station, 94.9, KLTY and AEG Live, welcome the Outcry Festival with Louis Giglio.
It is believing God who says the latter days are going to be greater than the former days, and you'll always be able to say, I was there.
Hillsong United, Jesus Culture, Lauren Daigle, Passion, and more. Saturday, August 5th at Toyota Stadium in Frisco. OutcryFestival.com. That's OutcryFestival.com.
Right now, buy either Ortho Home Defense or Roundup with Comfort Wand at the Home Depot and get a free refill. Good news for you. Final notice for bugs or weeds. Protect your home inside and out from insects, or kill weeds right where they stand, right down to the root. Either way, you'll come out ahead, and bugs and weeds will be out of luck. Get a free refill with Ortho Home Defense or Roundup with Comfort Wand only at the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. Valid through July 5th in select stores. Limit 2 discounts per customer.
Saying I don't know is no longer acceptable. This is 660 AM, The Answer. Only for Texas. This is the Wells Report with John David Wells on 660 AM, The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. John David Wells at your service. 866-660-5759. Hi. So what we know and what we're dealing with now is that we are starting to get into a situation where this deep state mess needs to come to an end. A new wave of leaks targeting the Trump administration has actively endangered ongoing intelligence and military operations being conducted by the United States and its allies. This being reported by the Washington Free Beacon. Adam Credo is the journalist involved. Anger and concern are the products inside and outside the White House and around the world, according to multiple conversations with senior U.S. officials intimately familiar with the situation. And yes, I'm aware that I just talked about unnamed sources. Grain of salt time. The classified leaks, which are being handed to sympathetic journalists by former Obama administration officials, so says Adam Credo, who left the government and by holdover still serving in the Trump administration, have damaged a number of ongoing operations, ranging from American efforts to prevent Russian infiltration of the United States to Israeli efforts against ISIS, according to sources. A recent Washington Post story disclosed classified secrets as part of a larger story about the Obama administration cyber efforts against Russia. It was published days after a New York Times story, which revealed details of a secret Israeli cyber operation that President Trump is said to have leaked to Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov. The sensitivity of the material being leaked has heightened criticism of both former Obama administration officials who are suspected of unveiling these secrets and of the Trump administration for its seeming inability to stem the disclosures. Anger is running so high that multiple current U.S. officials have named some of the former Obama officials they believe are behind the unauthorized disclosures, which Trump officials say are aimed at kneecapping the current administration and also rewriting the record of the Obama years. They, former Obama officials, offer ridiculous explanations about why Obama couldn't act more forcefully. And then they apparently leak even more information about certain U.S. measures they claim have been taken against Russia, according to one senior U.S. official. The publication of this information, if it's true, could do damage to our national security, but the sources don't seem to mind doing that if it helps advance the anti-Trump political narrative. This is what's happening here. You will notice that there is a warning, there's a warning protocol in operation here. Last week, or actually 2 weeks ago, Senator Dianne Feinstein started saying, you know what, we need to hear from Loretta Lynch on some irregularities while she was Attorney General. Suddenly, things began to change in the United States media, at least some parts of the United States media, in reporting different stories that were advantageous to President Trump instead of disadvantageous. That was last week. This week, we've seen the president being able to turn the tide of the deep state, mainstream media, Democrat cabal against him, and has had some very serious wins today in the last few days. Now what's happening in this particular story is that notice is being given to these former Obama officials that if they don't shut up, they're going to get named. The story that needed to come out months ago about this deep state garbage is finally coming out. So the circumstance goes like this. U.S. officials are about to start naming names. Last week, by the way, names were named by the Republican chairman of the Senate Intelligence Committee, Chuck Grassley. This is going to blow up in their faces if they don't stop. The sources leaking the information appear to be the same former Obama administration allies and holdovers behind a months-long series of damaging leaks. The sources for this Post article are obviously the same Obama holdovers who constantly leak classified information to the Washington Post, said the source, who would only discuss the matter under the condition of anonymity. Again, I hear you, people who say, wait a minute. What about these anonymous sources? You were criticizing them against Trump. Well, I'm criticizing them now against Obama, too. They went back to the same reporters and tried to rewrite history so it does not look like President Obama was weak on Russia, which, of course, he was. Well, he was weak on everything. He didn't do anything about Russia when they moved into the Crimea. Didn't do anything about that. I would have brokered peace between Ukraine and Russia. I would have gone to the president of Ukraine and said, you really didn't think that they were going to let you have Sebastopol, do you? I mean, seriously? So here's what they need. They need the port, and they also need a land bridge to the port. Okay, so you need to start figuring out what that looks like that you like. And then I would go to Vladimir Putin and I would say, Vladimir, now we understand that you're not going to give up Sebastopol, right? But what are you going to give up to the Ukraine in return for Sebastopol and, say, for example, a 25-mile wide land bridge to the port? What are you going to give up? I would have brokered a deal between the two, and all of this would have been gone about 2 years ago. But because President Obama didn't do anything, we have this gigantic mess. This could have been solved easily. The Crimea situation, why the hell didn't they do it? The ISIS mess. The president takes the troops out of Iraq because some penny-ante thug that we put in place in Iraq said, we have to get the Americans out of here. We're Iraq. We can do whatever we please. No, you're not Iraq. You're a guy that we put in power there, and you haven't consolidated power. You don't have a fire department yet. You don't have a police department yet. You don't have anything yet. You don't have an army, military, what have you. If we leave, chaos will ensue. That's not what the president said. The president said, okay, we got ISIS. Well done, Mr. President. Now, I will point out that we also got Osama bin Laden. Good. Very good. But was it worth the chaos of ISIS and the hundreds of thousands of people who have died because of ISIS? No. I know I'm saying, would you have rather he stayed in Iraq and not spent all that time on Osama bin Laden? Yeah, but that's because we now know the story. I'm Monday morning quarterbacking. Okay? We know that they pretty much knew where Osama bin Laden was for, almost a year before they did anything about it. So they could have had their cake and eat it too. They could have stayed in Iraq, left 40,000 troops behind, crushed anybody that wanted to be ISIS, then solved the ISIS problem, and then still had Osama bin Laden at the same time. But the president didn't do that. I don't know what President Obama was doing. Perhaps in some books, when he tries to remake history, he'll be successful in giving us all an explanation as to why he did these things. But to rewrite history by flogging the Trump administration for things they had nothing to do with, and for, yes, this inelegant term, kneecapping President Trump at the beginning of his presidency, is not just unfair, it's unwise, and it's destructive. Deep state my big butt. The simple case of the matter is that you guys are being essentially traitorous to the United States. You are aiding and comforting our enemies. You are former Obama administration officials, and we're about to find out who you are. So STFU. 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 This is the warning here. That's what this is all about. I wonder if they'll pay attention. I wonder if they'll pay attention. Continuing, the leaks have been traced to a number of former Obama administration officials. AEP, do we want to name names? Okay. This isn't me naming names. This is me reporting the names that have been named by the Washington Free Beacon and by Adam Credo. You know, we have limitations here. Okay. There is no Wells Report newsroom. I wish there was. Vicki and I are the Wells Report newsroom. Today we went through 65 different articles spanning the entire world looking for information to put on this broadcast, okay? We are a two-person newsroom. That's why we accredit people who do the work that we report on this broadcast. The leaks have been traced to a number of former Obama administration officials, including Ben Rhodes, the former National Security Council official responsible for creating an in-house echo chamber meant to mislead reporters and the public about the landmark nuclear deal with Iran, and Colin Kahl, former Vice President Joe Biden's national security advisor. These guys are finishing their careers right in front of us. Another source, this one a senior administration official who is also intimately familiar with the situation, confirmed the assessment to the Washington Free Beacon. Quote, those responsible for the disastrous foreign national security policy of the Obama administration for the last years, Ben Rhodes, Colin Kahl, K-A-H-L, Colin Kahl, they provide the marching orders to a broader group of people that are associated with the broader Democrat Party, Podesta Clinton network, and now they're trying to rewrite history at the cost of American national security. For the last 8 years, the priority was always the narrative. It was never American interests. It was in the interest of the Democrat Party and the Obama Podesta Clinton conglomerate, explained the source. The nature and sensitivity of the leaks escalated recently after efforts by congressional Democrats to accuse Trump officials of collusion with Russia ran into official denials from multiple officials who've testified on the matter before Congress. This is yet another example of politics trumping national security. And the question is, at what point are those who disagree with the results of the November 8 election going to stop endangering U.S. national security for their own political agenda, according to this official? Whoever this official is calling it exactly right. One more time. This is yet another example of politics trumping national security. And the question is, at what point are those who disagree with the results of the November 8 election going to stop endangering U.S. national security for their own political agenda? The ongoing leaks have not only endangered U.S. operations, but those of America's closest allies, including Israel and others. My friends, my fellow citizens, and yes, those fellow citizens who are Democrats, you need to start getting a hold of your buddies that are former administration officials, Obama administration officials, and give them those wonderful 4 initials I talked about earlier this evening. STFU. Now, this is the Wells Report.
We all know life can get crazy and you're not always near a radio, but one thing is for sure, your phone goes everywhere with you. And now we can too. Download the 660 AM The Answer app to your phone and listen live wherever you go. If you miss any of the Mark Davis Show or the Wells Report, you can catch up whenever, wherever. Plus, dial the 660 AM The Answer studio directly from the app. And it's free. We make it easy to stay connected. Download our app now. 660 AM The Answer.
Do you know what a RIA is? It's a Real Estate Investor Association, and it's where smart people go to obtain wholesale houses, obtain no money, no credit financing, meet local buyers, sellers, and investing partners, and receive local market intelligence and training. Don't buy houses retail. That's ridiculous. And please don't waste your time and money going to a get-rich-quick seminar from a traveling pitchman. Come network with local Dallas area real estate investors that are just getting started or taking it to the next level. Come join the largest real estate investor network in in Texas. We meet on Tuesday, June 27th at 6 p.m. at the Great Wolf Lodge in Grapevine. And you can register to attend for free by calling 800-717-3320. This month's topic is how to buy houses without using banks. Call 800-717-3320. Write it down. That's 800-717-3320 to attend any of our upcoming meetings and receive a valuable Texas real estate training program for free. Brought to you by the Dallas Real Estate Investment Association.
Hey, for years now, you've heard us talk about the great success Genesis Back and Neck has with spinal decompression. Well, now they've teamed up with the medical providers of Elevani Health Group to offer truly amazing treatments for knee pain and knee arthritis. If you've been told you need knee surgery, or if you suffer from chronic knee pain, then listen to this. Frank Reed here to tell you about the gel injections that I got from the Elevani Health Group working with Genesis Back and Neck. These treatments are virtually painless. They work immediately and the results are long-lasting. The bottom line is that these treatments really do work. My knee pain is completely gone. They can see you the same day in most cases. You don't have to wait months, and the treatments are usually covered by your insurance, even Medicare. Call today for your free consultation, 817-328-1922, or go online, Elevani, Elevani, health.com. Don't suffer with the knee pain any longer. Call 817-328-1922. 1922.
Have you checked your Google search results lately? Search results are usually the first impression that people form of you or your business, so make sure that they create a positive impression with ReputationDefender.com. What the internet says about you can have a big impact on your life and your livelihood, even if it's not true. Fortunately, you can now control how you look online and in online search results with ReputationDefender.com. Call 800-827-5948 now. That's 800-827-5948. For your free reputation analysis. If you have negative material from an ex-employee, upset patient, or former client, newspaper article, legal issue, social media, or other source showing up in your search results, you can combat it with ReputationDefender.com. Our dedicated experts in patented technology can help make your online search results look their best. Call 800-827-5948 to learn more. 800-827-5948. That's 800-827-5948. Or visit ReputationDefender.com.
Hi, this is John Taffer from Bar Rescue. I've worked with over 1,000 restaurants, so I know firsthand what it's like to need extra funding to buy equipment or to manage cash flow gaps. I even had to sell ownership in a restaurant because I didn't have the capital I needed at the time. With Cabbage, you don't have to be in that position. Cabbage offers lines of credit of up to $150,000. Apply online and you'll get a decision right away. I signed up in a few simple steps and had funding in minutes. Since Cabbage is a line of credit, you can take the exact amount you need when you need it. You never have to reapply to take additional loans, and you'll only pay for the funds you use. Cabbage has helped more than 100,000 businesses from every industry with over $3 billion in funding. Cabbage is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau and was named the Forbes Top 100 company twice in a row. Whether you own a restaurant or any type of small business, get started at cabbagewithak.com/owner or call 855-CABBAGE, KABBAGE.
Line of credit is subject to credit approval. See terms and conditions.
Hey, Mom, I got your message. Do you need me to come home early?
Hi, dear. We're all doing fine. The kids haven't slowed down all day, and thanks to Blue Emu, neither have I.
But I thought you said...
Well, I tried your father's Blue Emu Maximum Arthritis Relief Cream. It worked fast to relieve the pain in my achy muscles and joints.
Blue Emu, huh?
That's right. And it's odor-free.
Blue Emu Maximum Arthritis Relief. Beat the pain and enjoy life. Available at Walmart and Walgreens.
660 AM. 660 AM. The Answer. 660 AM. TheAnswer.com. Now, the Wells Report with John David Wells on 660 AM. The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is John David Wells. Our telephone number is 866-660-5759. 866-660-5759. People ask me all the time, how do we fight back against the left? How is it that we, regular folk, who are either the office of the president supporters, or outright President Trump supporters, how do we fight back against some of the protests that we've seen? Well, you protest back in very peaceful and very nice ways. Like this one, for example. Trump supporters flooded a North Carolina Starbucks for a sit-in after they said a woman was mocked for wearing a T-shirt supporting President Trump. The group wearing Trump T-shirts, carrying signs, entered the Starbucks on East Boulevard in Dilworth. It's a very nice part of Charlotte, by the way. They told Fox 46 Charlotte if it was to support this woman named Hart, her last name was Hart, I guess, who was reportedly mocked by a barista for wearing some Trump apparel a few days before. They shouted out, "Build a wall," and shoved a drink at me, and then all of the baristas in the back started cracking up laughing, she told Fox 46. The group called it unfortunate and very heartbreaking. At all cost, we have to rise above any opposition or anybody that treats us poorly. Somebody says something, please ignore it. Don't engage in it. Just to be proud wearing Trump attire, pins, stickers, hats, that we live in a great country, we have the ability to go into this establishment. Starbucks apologized to the woman. This is the Wells Report.
Hello, Howard Garrett, the Dirt Doctor here. I got a little show on the weekends, Sunday morning, and it's about natural organic gardening. We talk about landscaping and pest control. We talk about tree care. We talk about specific pest control on some things where other people say there are no solutions. Things like oak wilt, rose rosette, crepe myrtle bark scale, and fungal canker on Italian cypress. Join me every Sunday morning, 8 to 11, right here on 660 AM, The Answer.
Attention business owners. Are you struggling while waiting for your customers to pay on their net 30s, 60s, or 90s? Can't get a business loan because you have no equity, bad credit, or no credit at all? Then you need to call AmeriFactors. Get cash right now for your invoices instead of getting turned down by the banks or taking out a high-interest business loan. There is nothing to pay back. We simply buy your accounts receivable. And if those clients don't pay on those invoices, we take the loss. You have already been paid. We don't give you funds based on your credit. We give you funds based on your accounts receivable. Go buy that new equipment, hire those new employees, or use the working funds to bid on jobs you never thought you could go after. With AmeriFactors, there is no more waiting for your customers to pay. We give you the working funds while we wait for the net 30s, 60s, and 90s. Fund your business today with AmeriFactors by calling 800-698-9150. That's 800-698-9150. Or text FACTOR to 41411. That's FACTOR to 41411. And simply click the link to call and get funds within 48 hours.
Are you a responsible person who finds yourself growing deeper and deeper in credit card debt and you're not sure how to fix the problem? Then get ready for a toll-free number that will put you on a path to financial recovery. Trinity Debt Management is a nonprofit organization that will consolidate your accounts into one easy-to-manage monthly payment, put a stop to late fees and over-limit charges, and reduce your interest rates by as much as 60%. You'll save thousands and become debt-free for keeps. It's not a loan. It's a smart way to relieve your stress, meet your obligations, and preserve your self-respect. If your debt has you down, we should talk. Gather up your bills and call this toll-free number for a free, no-obligation debt analysis. 1-800-936-5348. That's 1-800-936-5348. If you're in debt and you need help, call Trinity at 1-800-936-5348.
This is 660 AM, The Answer. A service of Salem Media Group on the NASDAQ as SALM, KSKY, Balch Springs, Dallas, Fort Worth. 660 AM, The Answer.
Fox News Radio, I'm Rich Dennison. The Senate Republican health care bill would leave 22 million more Americans without health insurance over the next decade compared to current law. That's according to the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office.
South Carolina Republican Lindsey Graham's reaction.
I think it's going to be harder to get to 50, not easier.
50 is the number of Republican senators need to advance the bill without any support from Democrats. The procedural vote is expected this week.
Fox's Jared Halpern on Capitol Hill. The Supreme Court on Monday allowing major portions of President Trump's travel ban to take effect pending oral arguments later this year.
The 90-day ban on travel from Syria, Sudan, Yemen, Iran, Libya, and Somalia will now temporarily go into effect while the court agrees to hear the broader legal issues surrounding the ban in its next term starting in October.
Fox's Doug McKelway. Fox News. We report. You decide.
This is 660 AM, The Answer.
It's after 5 o'clock and you're driving home from another day at the office. Wouldn't it be nice if your advertising was working around the clock? And if you came into the office the next day with some new business to work on? That would be great, right? Here at 660 AM, The Answer, we talk to business owners every day, and they all want the same thing, Positive word of mouth. They want people talking about them in a good way. Well, we've done that for businesses all across the Metroplex. That's why you hear commercials from many of the same advertisers day after day. It's because advertising on 660 AM The Answer works. And we can do that for your business. Imagine your commercial running in shows you listen to each day, like Mark Davis or Sean Hannity. Now, it's not right for everybody, and we'll tell you if it's not. We value clients that have the same high ethical standards that we hold dear. If this sounds good to you, go to 660amtheanswer.com and click on Advertise with Us, and it will give you some more information. Then just give us a call or shoot us an email. Thanks.
Hey, it's Mark Davis. Happy summer from Climate Evangelist Eye Center, and they want to make your summer happier. Nothing can turn summer into a bummer like popping a contact at the beach or the lake or doing something you want to do that's kind of fun. Trampoline park, water park, laser tag. Oh, just
check. What'd you say? Yeah. Hold on a second. Bowling book. Okay. Test. It's going to be another big day for the Wells Report tomorrow. We are going to be dealing with, what is it, the first thing? No, the other thing. Oh, yeah. It'll be another big day on the Wells Report. Coming up, we're going to talk a little bit about Supreme Court Justice Anthony Kennedy. Is he going to stay or is he going to retire? He turns 81 in a few days. We will discuss it. Also, by the way, Eric Bowling is going to join us. He's written a new book, Wake Up America, The 9 Virtues That Make Our America Great, The 9 Virtues That Make Our Country. Wake Up America, The 9 Virtues. That book is old. Huh? We've already talked to him about that book. Okay. Oh, okay. Here we go. Do I have to start over again? No. Also, we're going to talk to Eric Bowling. Okay, I got it. Also, we're going to speak with Eric Bowling. He's written a book called The Swamp, He's written a book called The Swamp, Washington's Murky Pool of Corruption and Cronyism, and How Trump Can Drain It. Next time on the Wells Report. Don't miss it. Want me to try it again?
You want him to try it again?
What?
You don't need to do a cross promotion if you don't want to. Mark is on vacation.
Who's doing it? Who's filling in? Who?
Debt and you need help, call Trinity at 1-800-936-5348 to talk to a certified counselor.
Trinity consolidated our bills, got us a lower interest rate, and a much better monthly payment.
Trinity will consolidate your accounts into one easy-to-manage monthly payment, put a stop to late fees and over-limit charges, reduce your interest, and possibly improve your credit score. You'll save thousands.
We feel much better now. Things are going pretty well. And since we've been with Trinity, our credit rating has really improved.
If your debt has you down, call Trinity at 1-800-936-5348.
My name is Ann, and we're debt-free for keeps.
1-800-936-5348.
Policies issued by American General Life Insurance Company, Houston, Texas. Not available in all states. For details, visit AIGdirect.com.
If you're young and healthy, you don't need life insurance, right? Yeah, that's what I used to think too, until my brother died at 38. Joe left his wife with 2 kids, a mortgage, and a stack of bills she couldn't pay. Mary had to sell the house and move everybody into this tiny 2-bedroom apartment just to make ends meet. I never want to do that to my wife, so I got life insurance. I called AIG Direct and was really surprised how affordable it is. Just $14 a month for $250,000 of term life coverage. Listen, if you have a family, you should seriously think about getting life insurance. You'll feel a lot better having it, trust me.
Call AIG Direct for a free, no-obligation quote. The call takes less than 5 minutes, and you could save up to 70%. Call now, 1-800-700-6492. That's 1-800-700-6492. 1-800-700-6492.
You check things all the time, like your email every 10 seconds, or your ex's Instagram. But what about checking something as important as your credit? Well, Discover makes it quick, easy, and best of all, free. Discover is now offering FICO credit scores to everyone for free, even if you're not a customer. And checking your score won't hurt your credit. We call it the Discover Credit Scorecard. And once you know your score, you should check to see if your current credit card is the best fit for you. Check your credit, compare your card. Go to discover.com/credit scorecard. Limitations apply.
660 AM, The Answer. 660 AM, TheAnswer.com. Is anybody out there paying attention to what's going on in this country, in this state, and in this city? We know one man who is. You got questions? He's got answers. This is The Wells Report with John David Wells on 660 AM, The Answer.
You are listening to The Wells Report. My name is John David Wells, here till midnight tonight on 660 AM, The Answer. We have been talking about some very basic things that all of us have to deal with. One of the basic things is that no matter how hard you try, no matter how well connected you are, no matter how good you are or how thick your resume is, you can only defy the laws of gravity for just so long. And that at some point, this dangerous cabal between the Democrat Party and America's mainstream media was going to start damaging both of the entities involved. And the reason is because the mainstream media cannot be a political player. It cannot be a stenography service for the Democrat Party. It cannot be propagandist to the king. Sooner or later, it has got to return to its main mission, which is to report on the government of the United States, because a free republic, a free nation, is absolutely dependent on a free press. And there is nothing more diabolical than a free press deciding to become political acolytes for the sake of their own power. And that's what we have here. Three CNN employees no longer work at CNN because of troubles they've had regarding certain stories on Trump-Russia ties. CNN has accepted the resignation of the employees involved in a story that had to do with an investigation of a Russian investment fund with possible ties to several Trump associates. According to CNN, an internal investigation of the story found that some standard editorial processes were not followed when the article was published. Citing a single, unnamed source, the story reported that Congress was investigating a Russian investment fund with ties to Trump officials. I don't know about you, but I have like, announcements, messages that come over my cell phone, having to do with major news issues so that I can be somewhat connected to what's going on even when I'm not on the air. You may have seen this one. I saw this one too. And I went, I wonder what this is going to turn into. That's what I said. What will this story actually turn into when we find out more about it? Well, we found out that it cost the careers of 3 CNN employees. Then I found out that it was single-sourced. That's an editorial policy that is, is it sacrosanct? I mean, it pretty much is, right? I mean, from newsrooms across the country and around the world, you have to have 2 independent sources before you can say it's a news story. And if you don't have 2 independent sources, it can cost you your career. You don't believe me? Ask Dan Rather. CNN explained today. These types of stories would usually go through several departments, including fact checkers, journalism standard experts, and lawyers. But the network says there was a breakdown in editorial workflow, which disturbed the CNN executives who learned about it. I'm going to say this based on pure speculation, a little bit of experience, and okay, I'll call it an educated guess. Those CNN executives who just learned about this need to go back and start looking at, I don't know, the last 100 stories reported by the network. I believe that they're going to find that this is a problem that is far more endemic than they're aware of. The network's investigative unit was told during a meeting that the retraction did not necessarily mean the facts of the story were wrong, but the story was not solid enough to publish as is. In other words, the facts of the story may be correct, but until we get additional verification, additional sourcing, it's not a story at all. They aren't even facts. They're trying to mitigate it by saying the story only appeared on Friday. well, okay. You cannot lie. You cannot misstate. You cannot propagandize for the sake of your politics. For the last couple of weeks, I've distilled down to a simple statement a lot of what I see when it comes to leftists, Democrats, leftist progressives attempting to explain themselves and their ideas. In the main, these people are willing to look through facts, look completely through these facts to find politics. They're focusing on the wrong thing. With that being said, 3 investigative unit members gone. CNN boss Jeff Zucker says despite what the president says is fake news, he is certain that CNN maintains the trust of its viewers as it extends into digital brands to attract a younger audience. He said that CNN's been around for 37 years. Our trustworthiness today is the same as it was a year ago before people in high office started questioning it. No, Mr. Zucker, that is not the case. You see, this is where this starts right here. See, this starts at the front office. See, everything was fine before people in high public office started questioning us. No, Mr. Zucker, everything wasn't fine. That's why people in high office started questioning you. You know, I'm going to give you a little piece of learning that I got from doing the Wells Report. The truth is more often than not kind of humdrum, run-of-the-mill, and boring. It is a lot easier to make a name for yourself, Alex Jones, by taking humdrum, run-of-the-mill news and turning it into false flag operations that mean the United States is corrupt from beginning to end, and yelling at the top of your lungs and thinking that it'll carry the day. It will for a while, but like I said at the beginning of this conversation, you can only defy gravity for just so long. In the case of Alex Jones, when his wife took him to court to divorce him and get custody of his children, he said in court, under oath, that he was just playing around, that he was only playing a part, that he didn't actually believe what he was saying. Normally, that would be the end of someone's career. I don't know whether that's going to be the case for Alex Jones. But I will also point out the fact that as soon as Alex Jones ran up against a real journalist, in this case, Megyn Kelly, this thing started, this whole Alex Jones infomercial, this InfoWars garbage started flying apart at the seams. It's because he's making it up as he's going along. Because like I'll tell you, nobody knows about the Wells report because it's the news. I mean, it's the news. Lots of people listen. What's he doing? Well, he's just reporting the news. Well, what good is that? Well, it's the news. You can't really find it anywhere else. Well, what makes his news different? Well, aside from the fact that he believes in the Constitution and the Bill of Rights and the Declaration of Independence and the Federalist Papers, he's really not playing politics with the news. He's just reading the news. And, oh, by the way, pointing out when people are committing sedition and treason and little things like that, and strangely enough, the people who are doing that are more on the left than on the right. But believe me, as soon as someone from the right steps on their appendage, I will report it here first. You will not have to wait. Strangely enough, I think I've been pretty critical of Republicans in general. I'm surprised that Republicans spend so much time on the broadcast. Maybe it's because they, too, know that they're going to get truthfully reported here. But Zucker, who is the chief of CNN, says that everything was going along fine until, and he said it himself, CNN has been around for 30 years. Our trustworthiness today is the same as it was a year ago before people in high offices started questioning it. Report the truth. They can question it all they want. You're not reporting the truth. You just fired 3 people for not reporting the truth. Case closed. And that's not the first time it's happened. Yes, the moans and screams coming from a house of rape and torture on your way to an exclusive interview with Saddam Hussein. Yeah, that stuck in my craw. Yeah, walking past that because you didn't want to screw up the exclusive with Saddam Hussein. Yeah, that's right. Oh, did you report it afterwards? After you got the interview? No. Why? Because you didn't care how those tormented people were being raped and killed and tortured. You didn't care. Why? Because you're CNN, that's why. No, I'm not finished with this story yet. We'll be back with more coming up in a minute. You're listening to the Wells Report on 660 AM The Answer.
The Dennis Prager Show. The Dennis Prager Show.
If a fanatical Trump supporter had tried to murder as many Democratic congressmen as possible, you think Nancy Pelosi would get up there and call for unity? I don't. I think she would have gotten up there and said, this is the hate unleashed by this president.
The Dennis Prager Show, weekdays at noon, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on 660 AM The Answer.
I'm Lanhee Chen of the Hoover Institution for townhall.com. In the last week alone, terrorists have attacked or attempted to attack targets in European nations we call allies and friends. One of the main railway stations in Brussels, Belgium was targeted. So too were innocent civilians on the Champs-Élysées in Paris. These attempts come on the heels of deadly attacks in London and Manchester, and recent attacks in Stockholm, Berlin, and Nice. The threat of radical jihadist terrorism is real, and if we are naive enough to believe that the terrorists are only interested in attacking European nations, shame on us. They'd love nothing more than to successfully attack the American homeland. That's why, for all the threats we face around the world, none is more significant than the one we face from radical Islamic terrorism. The intelligence community and law enforcement have done a superb job of keeping Americans safe since 9/11. Lawmakers should make sure they have everything they need for success. and the Trump administration should continue to devote time, effort, and resources to neutralizing and eventually defeating this threat. I'm Lan Hee Chen.
Hey, it's Mark Davis for my friend Josh DeShong. Let's make this the summer where Josh sells your home as quickly as he sold ours. I love this guy. You get the Josh DeShong promise. He comes, sits down with you, you talk price and time frame. You reach an agreement on a price you'd love and a time frame you can handle. And if he can't sell that house of yours at that price in that time frame, he buys it. He promises if he can't sell it, he buys it. So get going. 972-325-6644. 972-325-6644 or getsold.net. Now, not only will he do that on the market, but there's an instant buyout program right now. They can give you an offer today without even listing the home. Best part is in a lot of areas throughout North Texas, you're getting full market value without even listing the home, not worrying about showings and stuff. So if you're really ready to move fast, go for the instant buyout program. 972-325-6644. Ask about it at 972-325-6644 or getsold.net.
Warning, if you've recently declared bankruptcy, you're going to want to cover your ears because there's an alternative to bankruptcy and it could be better than you'd ever think possible. But if you've already declared bankruptcy and have missed this opportunity, you'll want to cover your ears now. Here it is. Right now, the company that has resolved more credit card debt than anyone in the U.S. may be able to settle your debt too. You can resolve your debt with one low monthly program payment. If you call right now and qualify, Freedom Debt Relief will show you how low your monthly program payment could be for free. Call now. 1-800-600-1637. That's 1-800-600-1637. If you're struggling with debt, this could be your answer. And the bigger your debt, the more money you could save. To find out for free how much of your hard-earned money Freedom Debt Relief could help you save, call now. 1-800-600-1637. 1-800-600-1637. 1-800-600-1637.
Have you checked your Google search results lately? Search results are usually the first impression that people form of you or your business. So make sure that they create a positive impression with ReputationDefender.com. What the internet says about you can have a big impact on your life and your livelihood, even if it's not true. Fortunately, you can now control how you look online and in online search results with ReputationDefender.com. Call 800-827-5948 now. That's 800-827-5948 for your free reputation analysis. If you have negative material from an ex-employee, upset patient, or former client, newspaper article, legal issue, social media, or other source showing up in your search results, you can combat it with ReputationDefender.com. Our dedicated experts in patented technology can help make your online search results look their best. Call 800-827-5948 to learn more. 800-827-5948. That's 800-827-5948 or visit ReputationDefender.com.
For the last decade, it's been called the greatest libertarian show on earth. This year will be no different. Attended by the most brilliant conservative minds today, join us for Freedom Fest, July 19th through the 22nd at the Paris Resort in Las Vegas. This year, come hear the likes of Craig Gutfeld from Fox News, actor William Shatner, and SRN's very own Larry Elder and Michael Medved. Register now at freedomfest.com and save $100 by using the code REASON100 at freedomfest.com.
660 AM, The Answer. The Wells Report with John David Wells. Must Hear Radio on 660 AM, The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is John David Wells. Our telephone number is 866-660-5759. I understand what Jeff Zucker is trying to do. He's the boss of CNN. He's trying to stand up for his network. Sometimes you can't stand up for your network, especially when it has major credibility problems. And CNN buried itself in credibility problems during the 2016 presidential election. Zucker said the world has changed. We can all get news 24/7 from any device, any outlet, but we want to tell different stories in different ways and add to the news. We're not going to attract new viewers just by feeding CNN into different platforms. Everybody has an iPhone. Everybody can be a reporter now. Everybody can tell a story from every part of the world. Why places like CNN matters is it's still important to bring them together, to put a context around it and explain it. He added that CNN and other media organizations need personalities like a person known as Casey Neistat. Do you know who she is? You ever heard of her? The way CNN would traditionally tell a story so different from the way Casey and Bernie would tell a story. They're both incredibly valuable. You'll find their audiences. And that's what I think the new CNN is about, being a multi-platform company that reaches many different audience members on many different platforms. Talking about Neistat's appeal to CNN, he does great work. He has a huge following. He can have a different market than CNN ever could. Well, then why don't you just close down CNN and let him do the news? We have hundreds and hundreds of reporters and people who can tell video stories and stand there with a microphone and a trench coat and tell a story. We don't have Casey. I think that's what's missing. Not from CNN, but the legacy television news broadcasters who think it's enough to take a video report and put it on a platform where young people work or go. It just doesn't work. By the way, this Casey Neistat guy, he's producing an all-original video brand and a daily news show for CNN. The network acquired Neistat's mobile video sharing app, Bernie, for a reported $25 million earlier this year. It's banking on Neistat's appeal to entice millennials to tune in. So in other words, what he's doing is he's turning CNN over to a blogger. Someone you don't know who tells stories different ways. How about this? Where are we going to go for the news? It is CNN, right? That's News Network, right? Yeah, it's supposed to be a news network. Cable news network, CNN. Well, where's the news? And I don't care what you think, Mr. Zucker. At some point, even the millennials will want to know what's actually happening. It may take a while. Like I said, you can defy gravity for a while, but you can't defy gravity forever. Of course, I'm supposing by this time you'll be pretty much out of the news business. By the time all this catches up to CNN and ruins it for good, you'll be out of the news business working your way through your bucket list, right? So if you're a CNN viewer, maybe what you want to do is you may want to trust Jeff Zucker and say, you know, I'm going to dump CNN and avoid the rush. This is the Wells Report.
Here's microbiologist Dr. Kim O'Neill talking about balance of nature.
Scientific research has shown that many cancers and lifestyle diseases can be prevented with a diet rich in fruits and vegetables. This prevention comes from the phytochemicals in the plants. They fight against oxidants that damage the cell's DNA, causing mutations that lead to disease. I don't take any supplementation, but I take balance of nature because I've seen it in my lab. I've seen the immune response increase. I've seen your DNA repair capacity increase, and I've seen DNA protection, and I know that it works.
Take Dr. Howard's Health Challenge and find out how to get 2 free sets of fruits and veggies. We'll even ship them to you free. Call now for details. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code 660AM.
Acme Home Insurance.
Yes, I'd like to make a claim.
What are you wanting to claim, sir?
My air conditioner broke down.
Sorry, but your home insurance doesn't cover air conditioner breakdowns.
So what do you cover?
Home damage from things like earthquakes, volcanoes, a zombie apocalypse.
A zombie apocalypse? But that'll never happen.
But if it did, you'd be covered, sir.
But not my air conditioner?
I'm afraid not.
But his air conditioner could have been covered with a home warranty from American Home Shield, plus major components of 20 other home systems and appliances, like his electrical system, plumbing, refrigerator, and more. For valuable free information, call 1-800-400-5602. Homeowners insurance can cover what might happen.
Zombies are coming!
But a home warranty helps cover what will happen.
Now the dryer won't work.
Be sure with the Shield. American Home Shield. For valuable free information, call 1-800-400-5602. That's 1-800-400-5602. 1-800-400-5602.
Hey, it's Mark Davis. Happy summer from Climate Evangelist Eye Center. And they want to make your summer happier. Nothing can turn summer into a bummer like popping a contact at the beach or the lake or doing something you want to do that's kind of fun. Trampoline park, water park, laser tag. Oh, just lost a contact. That's a bummer. So what we're going to do is get you to BeFreeToSee.com. BeFreeToSee.com. That is the website with the summer LASIK package information from Climate Evangelist Eye Center. I love these folks. They've helped so many people live better by seeing better, and these LASIK packages are great. Fantastic doctors, incredible technology, wonderful, wonderful phone number for you to call to learn more. 1-800-714-2020. Ask about the value match guarantee and Be Free to See. That's the website for a reason, because we're going to be free to see without glasses and contacts, incredible prices, great financing. Learn more at 1-800-714-2020. They're in Dallas, Arlington, and Plano. Climate Evangelist Eye Center. Learn more at BeFreeToSee.com.
I adopted her. She was a mess. Scabs, itching, licking, missing fur, hot spots, a thin, dull coat. So I take the dog to the vet for the standard run-of-the-mill tests and treatments. No results. I hear your advertisement on the radio.
DINOVITE.com.
859-428-1000. So I get the 5-pound box of Dynovite and the Lico chops within a 4-week total instead of a German Shedder.
Futures and options trading involves substantial risk and is not suitable for all investors.
Fire the stockbroker and hire yourself. I'm Larry Levan, and I've been on the trading floor for 23 years. I was one of the biggest traders in the S&P pit. I'm also the president of Trading Advantage, the leading educational firm teaching people how to become professional day traders. Now, for a limited time, I'm offering one of the trading techniques I use to make $1.9 million for free. Invest in and control your own future. Get started right now by calling 800-914-5567. Leave your email address on my voicemail, and I'll email you my free trading technique and daily insider's market report at no cost to you. This is the very information I use to build my fortune.
I was getting ready to retire. I still needed to make extra income, but I didn't want to work for anyone else. Because of Larry and his excellent instructors, I could trade successfully for myself, and I'll never have to work for someone else again.
Fire the stockbroker and hire the most dependable person you know. You. Again, call in the next 90 minutes. Leave your email address on my voicemail. 800-914-5567. 800-914-5567.
If you've got questions, we've got answers. 660 AM. The Answer. The Wells Report is on 660 AM. The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is John David Wells. He has been a part of the Supreme Court for nearly 30 years. Arguably, Supreme Court Justice Anthony Kennedy has been the most powerful man in the country for the last 20 years. He is a man who has stood between the 4 conservative justices on the Supreme Court and the 4 liberal justices on the Supreme Court. The number of 5-4 decisions where he was the swing vote make him one of the most pivotal Americans in this nation's history, certainly in the last 20 years. They're trying to figure out whether or not he's going to retire. He has given no public sign that he will retire this year. But the justice turns 81 years old next month. He's been on the court for 30 years. Several of his former clerks have said they thought he was contemplating stepping down in the next year or so. Kennedy and his clerks were gathering over the weekend for a reunion that was pushed forward a year, fueling suggestions that he might be leaving the court. Orrin Kerr is one of his former clerks. He is now a law professor at George Washington University. Kennedy, the longest-serving justice on the court, having assumed office in 1988 under Ronald Reagan, has moved from being seen as a conservative to being regarded as the panel's swing vote, voting with a majority in a number of liberal rulings. He wrote the majority opinion in Obergefell versus Hodges, the 2015 ruling which made same-sex marriage the law of the land, which is not the case. It only made it the law of the land as far as leftists were concerned. What it said is that the Defense of Marriage Act was unconstitutional. The Republicans were thus obligated to create a law that protected marriage that was constitutional. But being Republicans, they were too busy. Or they were clapping themselves on the back, patting each other on the back, saying, see, we got where we wanted and we can blame the Democrats about it. We can blame the Democrats for it. Great. Yeah, that's the kind of politics I love. Golly. When the justices take the bench today, and this is obviously written over the weekend, because they did decide the case of Trinity Lutheran Church of Columbia, Missouri. There's also a ruling that's coming up on whether to allow the administration to enforce a 90-day ban on visitors, and of course that one was found in favor of Donald Trump today as well. 6 cases that were argued between November and April remain undecided. 3 of them, all involving immigrants or foreigners, were heard by an 8-justice court before Gorsuch joined the bench in April. Some of those will be re-argued in the fall, with Gorsuch available to provide the tie-breaking vote. I don't agree with all of his decisions. I don't agree with where his decisions come from. It concerns me that he uses other nations' laws to divine what the law should be in the United States. It concerns me greatly. But regardless of whether I agree with everything that Anthony Kennedy has ruled, I've agreed with many of them. And I have been disappointed by many of them. But here's what I'll tell you. The United States of America is not one person. The United States of America is not everyone in agreement. It is one of our sources of great strength. It is a pity, in my view, that we should be able to look at the Supreme Court of the United States and clearly define 4 conservatives and 4 liberals. It is a failure of the justice system. But it is also a strength. It is the organizational balance that I believe that a Supreme Court should be, although you can only find true balance in what I consider to be the reality of a Supreme Court if the 5-4 decisions that are sure to come are because of a different swing vote justice every time. Antonin Scalia, the great conservative lion of the Supreme Court, was once overheard talking about when someone else was going to be picked for the Supreme Court. He opined that someone should send me someone brilliant, someone with a great mind, like Elena Kagan. Can you imagine Antonin Scalia saying something like that about you? Has Elena Kagan lived up to that vote of confidence? Not in my view, not yet. But that doesn't mean that she won't at some point. Maria Sotomayor. Sonia Sotomayor. I don't know why I said Maria. Don't ask me why. Sonia Sotomayor is another person that I believe who is clearly liberal, but at the end of the day, does see the forest for the trees. Ruth Bader Ginsburg is a solid liberal with a solid liberal view, and her comments about President Trump really concern me that she would have such little regard for the American people. Part of me says that is dangerous. On the other hand, at least she's got the right job. If she thinks she knows better than everybody else, maybe being a justice on the Supreme Court is where she should be. There will be at least one more retirement and maybe as many as 3 more retirements during Donald Trump's presidency. As I have said on many times on this microphone, while I believe that a solid conservative majority is necessary for the proper preservation of this republic, were I the President of the United States, after ensuring a solid majority of conservatives, 2 votes, I would protect the liberal thought of reasonable deconstructionists to be added to the court as well. I would probably take great criticism for that. But at the end of it all, one of my most deeply held thoughts is that if we all agree completely, then we all have the near disastrous possibility of being wrong. All of us. There's an old saying that somebody who disagrees is there to keep you honest. I think that most of us are honest. And I think that most of us, at least most of us, should be at least wary of what is called groupthink, where you respond to peer pressure in the conversation that leads you to believe, or at least say you believe something you don't believe for the sake of amity among the parties. That doesn't mean that you can be the only jerk in the room. It does, however, mean that you have a right to be heard. I concern myself over the possibility that the country could change in ways that none of us want at the hands of a solidly conservative, overwhelmingly conservative court. Perhaps I shouldn't worry so much. Perhaps I should say, you know what? We've got to make hay while the sun shines. But with that in mind, I am reminded of how disastrous it can be when only the left is in charge. (2008) until 2010, for example. It's surprising that we have the republic we have, given where we've been. It tells you it tells you how strong this republic and this system is. Truly a trial by fire. $5.5 trillion in spending. No one has any idea where that money went. $5.5 trillion in 2 years. And so what ends up happening is that we look at this where we say, okay, when someone believes that you should make hay while the sun shines and you should stand up for your political beliefs above all else for any and all reasons, you end up with the Obama administration need for social justice, where instead of working to rid the United States of racism for all times and all people, you decide instead to punish those people who you believe were racist this whole time. You decide to punish them in the time that you have in power. Which is how so many white, high school educated men, working men in the United States, long the staple of the Democrat Party, found themselves voting for Donald Trump. Because after being patriots and building the skyscrapers and the highways and the byways and all of the infrastructure in the United States and being called racists, homophobes, xenophobes, and so on and so forth, after being called names for years and years and years, they finally said, the Democrat Party hates me, and I've had enough. No, social justice isn't justice. Only justice is. And justice is measured with a scale of balance in this nation. And it should ever be thus. This is the Wells Report.
The Sean Hannity Show.
There is a clear and present danger that the country is now facing, and I'm calling it a soft coup. You have the whole Russia collusion. They're now saying no evidence of Russian collusion. Okay, so what do we have? And, well, we can't get them here. Well, now we'll move on to, is there obstruction?
The Sean Hannity Show. Afternoons at 2, right before Larry Elder at 5 on 660 AM. The Answer.
Hello, Howard Garrett, the Dirt Doctor here. I got a little show on the weekends, Sunday morning, and it's about natural organic gardening. We talk about landscaping and pest control. We talk about tree care. We talk about specific pest control on some things where other people say there are no solutions. Things like oak wilt, rose rosette, crepe myrtle bark scale, and fungal canker on Italian cypress. Join me every Sunday morning, 8 to 11, right here on 660 AM, The Answer.
Thanks to us, men all over DFW have been getting a better night's sleep.
Thank you, Simple Sleep Services.
Waking up refreshed and well-rested.
Thanks, Simple Sleep.
Happier and healthier.
Thank you so much, Simple Sleep Services.
At Simple Sleep Services, we promote the health and well-being of our patients by offering them the simple solution for treating snoring and sleep apnea. A custom mouthpiece you pop in at bedtime. It's comfortable, effective, and in most cases covered by medical insurance. Our dream team of experts are board-certified sleep physicians and highly trained dentists who provide the least invasive solution possible for a great night's sleep without loud, obnoxious snoring or the health risks of obstructive sleep apnea. Visit simplesleepservices.com or call 469-685-1700. That's simplesleepservices.com or 469-685-1700. We guarantee you.
Thanks, Simple Sleep.
You'll thank us for it.
With Quicken Loans, the outdated and complicated mortgage process is a thing of the past. Our simple process helps you understand all the details so you can be confident that you're getting the right mortgage. Take your mortgage to the next level and call 800-QUICKEN or go completely online with Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. No matter how you prefer to work with us, we've got what you need to get you through the mortgage process with ease. For 7 years in a row now, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. And for the third year in a row, they also ranked us highest in the nation for mortgage servicing. Whether you're looking to purchase or refinance, now is the time. The rate today on a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is 3.875%, APR 4.23%. Call 800-QUICKEN or get started online at rocketmortgage.com. Apply simply, understand fully, mortgage confidently.
For J.D. Power award information, visit jdpower.com. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org number 3030.
This is Michael David from Seattle. I'm 51 years old, and 6 months ago, I started taking Andro 400 to increase my testosterone. Since then, I've lost 35 pounds of fat, and my waist went from size 38 to size 32. I have more energy, and I look and feel 20 years younger. And now my wife tells me I have to take Andro 400.
Hi, this is Ron Johnson from Utah. After 10 weeks of taking Andro 400, I lost 13 pounds, and my waist went from 36 to 33. That was 8 years ago. I continue to take Andro 400, and I've maintained my weight at 172. Gained muscle and energy. I'm 63 now and feel better than I have in 30 years.
Andro 400, the natural way to increase testosterone, lose belly fat, gain energy, and feel great. Try Andro 400, the safe, effective, affordable way to boost your testosterone. Go to andro400.com or call 888-400-0435. 888-400-0435.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
It's the 4th of July sale at Ace, and it's the perfect time to buy a grill from our exclusive lineup of premium brands, including Weber, Traeger, and more. Plus, Ace has grill experts to make sure you get the right grill, whether you're looking for gas, charcoal, wood pellet, or ceramic. And right now, get the right grill delivered right to your house. Now through the 4th, hurry in and buy any grill $3.99 and up, and we'll assemble and deliver it free. Only at Ace. Offer valid for Ace Rewards members only. See participating store for scheduling and details.
Our sister station 94.9 KLTY and AEG Live welcome the Outcry Festival. Louis Giglio.
It is believing God who says the latter days are going to be greater than the former days, and you'll always be able to say, I was there.
Hillsong United. Jesus Culture. Lauren Daigle, Passion, and more. Saturday, August 5th at Toyota Stadium in Frisco. OutcryFestival.com. That's OutcryFestival.com.
660 AM, The Answer. 660 AM, TheAnswer.com. If it's important to you, it's on the Wells Report on 660 AM, The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. John David Wells at your service. Forgive me, I was just telling a friend of mine about nematodes. You know what they are? They eat chiggers, apparently. You know those little bugs that crawl under your skin? Boy, I'll tell you. All right, so here's what we've got. Last thing, the FBI will not confirm or deny the existence of records showing whether the Bureau paid the researcher behind the unverified controversial dossier alleging ties between President Donald Trump and Russia. Christopher Steele, a former British spy, gathered information for the dossier while working for a Washington research firm that the supporters of Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign hired. Trump did deny the dossier was true, while Steele said parts of it are unverified. The Washington Post reported earlier this year that Steele had reached an agreement with the FBI a few weeks before Election Day to continue investigating then candidate Donald Trump. Did he get paid by the FBI? I hope not. The executive producer of the Wells Report is Vicki Steifer. Technical director, conductor of the Wells Report Orchestra is Magic Matt Swinney. My name is John David Wells. God bless you and yours. Thanks very much for joining us here on the Wells Report. See you again tomorrow night.
Do you know what a RIA is? It's a real estate investor association, and it's where smart people go to obtain wholesale houses, obtain no money, no credit financing, meet local buyers, sellers, and investing partners, and receive local market intelligence and training. Don't buy houses retail. That's ridiculous. And please don't waste your time and money going to a get-rich-quick seminar from a traveling pitchman. Come network with local Dallas area real estate investors that are just getting started or taking it to the next level. Come join the largest real estate investor network in Texas. We meet on Tuesday, June 27th at 6 p.m. at the Great Wolf Lodge in Grapevine, and you can register to attend for free by calling 800-717-3320. This month's topic is how to buy houses without using banks. Call 800-717-3320. Write it down. That's 800-717-3320 to attend any of our upcoming meetings and receive a valuable Texas real estate training program for free. Brought to you by the Dallas Real Estate Investment Association.
Hi, I'm Jeff Stewart with Reliant Air Conditioning. In the last 2 months, we've saved our customers over $500,000. How'd we do it? With our exclusive partnership with your utility provider, we get to offer instant rebates of up to $1,500